Calling attendance for Code Enforcement Board. Calling Chair Yvonne Bayona.
Present.
Calling Vice Chair John Cunil.
Present.
Calling Member Brenda Betancourt. Calling Member Christy Tasker.
Present.
Calling Member Keon Williams.
Present.
And calling Member Martin Zilber.
Present.
Thank you. We have quorum.
I would like to welcome you to this meeting of the City of Miami Code Enforcement Board, or CEB. The Code Enforcement Board is made up of 7 regular meetings and 2 alternate members. 7 regular members and 2 alternate members appointed by the City Commission who volunteer their time and services. The board is authorized by Florida law to hear and decide cases brought against those persons who have been cited for violations of various city ordinances but who have not corrected the alleged violations. Each case will be called based upon when the property owner or representative has checked in and the type of matter to be heard unless there are extenuating circumstances. The respondent whose property and or business is the alleged violator will be asked to plead guilty or not guilty. If the respondent pleads guilty, the board will give the respondent a date certain by which to correct the violation. If the violation is not corrected by that date, the board may impose a fine against the respondent or respondent's property of up to $250 per diem for a residential property and up to $1,000 per diem for a non-residential property for a first-time offender and up to $500 per diem for a residential property and up to $5,000 per diem for a non-residential commercial property for a repeat offender. If the respondent pleads not guilty, the City of Miami, through the Assistant City Attorney, will present its case. After the city presents its case, the respondent will be permitted to present its defense. Both the city and the respondent will have an opportunity to present evidence and to examine and cross-examine witnesses. If the respondent is not present and the respondent's representative wishes to present the respondent's defense to the board, a signed and notarized power of attorney is required before the case will be heard. If there are any representatives present without a power of attorney, please immediately obtain one and contact the respondent so they present their defense to the board. If you fail to do any of the above, the board will proceed to hear the case in absentia. This hearing is conducted in an informal manner. There are no formal rules of evidence. However, all discussion, presentations, and questions are limited to matters relating directly to the violation cited. After all the evidence is presented, the board will determine by majority vote whether the respondent is guilty or not guilty. If the board finds the respondent guilty, the board will order the respondent to correct the violation by a certain date. If the violation is not corrected by that date, the board may impose a fine against the violator or owner of the property up to $250 per diem for a residential property and up to $1,000 per diem for a non-residential property for a first-time offender and up to $500 per diem for a residential property and up to $5,000 per diem for a non-residential commercial property for a repeat offender. The respondent may also be charged the cost of prosecution and up to $5,000 or $15,000 for specified code violations as a one-time fine for violations that are considered irreparable or irreversible in nature. It is the violator's responsibility to notify the city's code compliance department when the violation has been corrected. If the violation is not corrected by the required date, a lien shall be imposed without further hearing. The lien imposed will be a lien against the cited property and against other real or personal property owned by the violator. If you have fines to pay, you need to email the city's finance department for a payoff total at finance@miamigov.com. In the subject field, in the subject field of your email, write A as in Apple, R as in Robert, liens, and then it says Demetrios section. To pay applicable fines online, visit the following address, https://www.miamigov.com/residents/make-a-payment. If you need to request an extension of time, you may do so online by visiting the following, https://services/solve-a-problem/request-a-hearing and request-in-hearing-code-request-an-extension-of-time hearing-for-code-enforcement-case. Lastly, any orders entered by the board may be appealed to the 11th Judicial Circuit Court of Florida within 30 days.
Thank you.
Calling first case. This is a to be heard in the code check agenda, page 40. Address is 1755 Southwest 23rd Avenue. Case number is 000-70626. This is page 40 in the code check agenda. Address 1755 Southwest 23rd Avenue.
Good afternoon. Can you please state your name and address, please?
It's Rachel Cooper.
Can you speak into the microphone? We can't hear you.
Sorry. Rachel Cooper,
Your address?
1755 Southwest 23rd Avenue.
Are you guilty or not guilty?
I don't know.
Well, it has to be one or the other.
You can say guilty with an explanation if you want to do that.
Oh, okay.
Can guide.
So you are guilty or not
Well,
guilty?
depending on what it is, I don't know.
Okay, ma'am, did you receive a summons which showed that you were charged with illegal short-term rental?
Yes.
Work performed without a permit, use not allowed in the zoning district, you live in the transit zone, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty or?
Not guilty.
Okay.
Okay.
Inspector, please state your name and official position.
Andy Cristobal, Code Compliance Inspector with the Southeast Office.
Okay, and did you issue a citation to the property at 1755 Southwest 23rd Avenue?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
I did.
And did you provide me with photographs of the violations for the Airbnb still up on the website as of today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna send this down and ask the board members to look at it and send it back to me.
Hold on, because
No,
I
it's
can't
not
see it
in
on the
there.
TV.
There it is.
This was just,
It's on.
is this on there?
He's showing it.
Yeah, my TV's not working, so I can't.
No,
Oh, there we go.
Oh, my TV's
All
not
right.
working.
Got it.
It's on.
I'm on.
This is, no, this is different.
I just pressed the
Hit
power.
power.
This has
gotta wait a
today's
while.
date. Do you have today's date on yours? Okay, thank you. Could you review and pass this down to the end, and then, Mr. Zilber, just wave and I'll come get it. Okay, Inspector, in what we've marked as Exhibit A, in your file, are those your emails as well as the photographs of the violations and the listings on the various Airbnb and other sites advertising a short-term rental?
That's correct. I have on there several images for the short-term rental as well as time-lapse Google images showing the changes that were done to the property going back 6-7 years.
Okay, and so in addition, what we have marked as Exhibit B, are those the records of the property appraiser which show Ms. Cooper as the property owner?
Yes, ma'am.
And it also shows that it's supposed to be a single-family residential, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and what we've marked as Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Correct.
And so you cited the property owner for illegal short-term rental, correct?
Correct.
You cited the property owner for work performed without a permit, correct?
Correct.
And you cited the property owner for having a use that's not allowed in the transit zone, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, could you please let the board know what the work performed that the property owner did, since they're pleading not guilty, so we need a complete record?
Sure. So this violation originally came in as a 311 complaint to our office. So when I arrived at the location at the residence of Ms. Cooper, I arrived with the sole intent of citing her for the short-term rental violation. However, when I arrived there, it became clear there were some multiple entrances to the property, which I believe there's an image up there, that including but not limited to some doors that required a keypad to enter the interior of the property. When I checked our iBuild database, I noticed that there weren't any permits pulled. At that time, I informed Ms. Cooper of this violation, and she acknowledged and agreed that she would be pulling an after-the-fact permit for the work that had been done around the perimeter of the residence.
Okay, and when did you last check for any permits?
So I last checked this morning. The permit application was applied for, but it had never been issued and/or pulled.
Okay, and so you cited the property owner in November of 2023, correct?
That's correct.
And so there's no, other than filing an application, there's been no effort to come into compliance?
So the application, as I said earlier, she applied for it, but it was never finalized and/or issued, to the best of my understanding.
Okay, so, Madam Chairman, at this time, it's the property owner who will speak, but at the conclusion, we're going to request a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, and $1,000 a day thereafter.
I have a question for the inspector. Has the property been removed yet from the Airbnb site?
Not as of today.
So that was a question that the attorney had for me earlier today, and as of after she received the summons on February 28th, and as well as today, it had not been removed as of today.
Okay. And not only that, she's also claiming tax exemption for a property that she is renting and that she's also living, which is illegal.
Ms. Bayona, before you ask for an explanation, because the respondent has the opportunity, before you is the I-Build with the application from January. So technically, the respondent has applied. Right now, the application is in review, but they are moving in the right direction. But when the NOVs were issued, those permits were not in place.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm sorry, your name is?
Ms. Cooper.
Elizabeth Cooper. Ms. Cooper, what would you like to say?
Yes, I'm trying to sell the property. I apologize if I did anything wrong. Please do not fine me. I do not have money. I just barely had money to pay the taxes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes, ma'am.
The board has to rule on the law, and you are committing still till today an illegal use of your property. So until today, you're still renting your property out to Airbnb. You still have it.
Okay, but I'm not.
It's still there. They took it out today, a picture of it, and they gave it to all of us. You're still advertising your property.
Okay, well, I will not advertise my property.
You have to, you're the property owner. You have to attain to the consequences, and we feel very sorry that you're in that situation, but you shouldn't put yourself into this predicament.
Yes,
But it is whatever the board decides.
May I ask?
Sure.
Okay, could you please give me time to finish the permit? I've been working with somebody that's.
How much time would you say you need?
Madam Chair, even if
I
she
know.
applied.
I'm giving her the right to speak. So please, that doesn't mean that the board is going to vote, but she has the right to speak. Like I was saying, how many days are you entitled to, you think you need for, to get this straightened out?
At least 30 days, please.
Okay. Board, it will take this under consideration. Do I have a motion, or does anyone else would like?
Brief reply.
Excuse me, please don't interrupt me. Like I said, is there anyone that would like to discuss this on the floor?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Director, you have any recommendation?
So one of the concerns, right, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on the record, when we have a construction work without permits and a use violation, ideally, we would have the ability to do a split order, right? So we'd say you need to stop the unauthorized use, and we'll give you 5 days, and then we'll give you 30 or 60 days or longer, if you so wish, for the construction work without permits. Unfortunately, our system does not have that ability. So we are going to, a recommendation would be something reasonable where the respondent must remove the advertising within 5 days or 10 days, and then get an EOT, extension of time, subject to the removal, and then we'll go ahead and give additional extension of time for the construction work without permits.
I have another question for Ms. Cooper. Do you have tenants there right now?
No.
All the doors are empty? There's no cars?
That's
Did you go by
correct.
today?
To answer your question, Madam Chair, when I did my follow-up inspection, there were no tenants at the location.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Cooper. Thank you, Inspector.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
I have a question. Ms.
had a
Cooper,
question.
have you tried to contact Airbnb to have your property removed?
I didn't know how to do it.
Okay.
They keep listing it, and I apologize.
Okay, so you have an account on Airbnb. You can disable the property. You go into the account settings and you click disable.
Excuse me, I hate to interrupt you, but we're not here to give recommendations. We're
No,
here to rule on.
I'm asking her,
I
has
know,
she
but
done this?
we're not here to give those kind of recommendations. We're here to rule on a violation.
Madam Chair,
If
I
may.
am asking her, has she done this?
I know, but you kept telling her what she needs
No,
to do.
no, I've asked
We're
her.
not here for that. We're here to move on, to stick to the issue. We have a lot of cases, and I appreciate your questions, but let's try to stick to the issue. please.
Ms. Cooper, have you gone into your account settings on Airbnb to try to disable?
I called them and told them to disable them.
Okay.
Because I asked them to stop listing it, that it's not
Before you
allowed.
come back, will you please make sure that you have evidence of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Would you like to comment?
Madam
Mr.
Chair?
Cahill?
Question for the inspector. Do we know if this property is listed on any other websites?
I checked the other websites, including VRBO, but I wasn't able to locate it on the other websites.
I have another question. How long has she been renting this property as an Airbnb?
So, thank you for asking me that question, Madam Chair. So, the initial notice of violation was issued in November, if I'm not mistaken. So, our first of multiple conversations that we've had, written in person and over the phone, commenced in November, to answer your question. She was issued a summons regarding today's board hearing. If the date is correct, January 8th. Is when she received the summons. And then after receiving the summons, part of my follow-up, I checked to see if it was listed on that one site, not the other ones, and I noticed that it was still listed.
Right, but do you remember how far back?
Zillow.
Do you remember how far back? Excuse me for a second. Do you remember how far back people were renting? Because you could have cited her in November. She's been doing this for a year.
So
The comments tell you.
my knowledge is solely from the day that we received that 311 complaint.
Okay.
It had occurred that week. So if I guessed anything other than that, it would be just a guess. I would be disingenuous. But I can tell you with complete certainty that from November, that property had been rented.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions, or the board members would like to?
I have a question.
No? Do we have a motion?
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
So we did receive a 311 complaint for this property.
From a
right?
person that actually stayed at the tenant,
Okay.
yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes.
May I say something?
Yes, Ms. Cooper.
Oh, okay. I just wanted you all to please have some grace with me a little bit. I'm just a single mother trying to make a living. I'm selling the property immediately. Can you please not fine me?
Well, I'm going to go to you so you can probably answer me.
I'll
What
answer.
did you say
So-
she was already doing? She's doing something to comply, or did I misunderstand?
Well, she's making an effort to comply, but
What has she done?
we're not there yet. Well, right before you and I built, there's an application in place for remodeling and repairs. So she's moving in the right direction. But we're not there yet as it relates to the actual
It lapsed.
rental, right? They're waiting. It's a review
That
response.
helps with permits, but you don't have any indication of what
That's-
she's
that's
done
correct.
with taking the property off.
No, there isn't any. As of today,
she
you have an advertisement.
What do you recommend?
So as
know
I
he
said
asked,
before,
I don't remember the
5 days, $500 per day for every day thereafter. That'll get an extension of time to address the construction work without permits. And if she complies, there's no fines. It doesn't get lien. You may sell your property. And if she doesn't, then we'll put fines and a lien on the property.
All right, I'll finish my comment. So you've asked. I want you to listen to what happens, because you're going to have something that happens here. But if you comply, go afterwards and speak, it's going to be up to you, not up to us, whether or not you get fined. Do you understand?
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll move for the recommendation by.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go speak with them, and
Leon?
they'll tell you what to do.
Are you in
Thank
favor?
Yeah, I had a.
Thank you. So you have 5 days to remove your property from Airbnb or wherever you have it. And
And notify the code enforcement officer. If not, you won't get an affidavit of compliance.
That's what it was.
thank you. Next case, please.
Calling page 2028. This is in the code check agenda, to be heard. The address is 8601 Northeast Bayshore Drive. Case number 000-75639. Address 8601 Northeast Bayshore Drive, page 28 in the code check agenda. To be heard.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Nicholas Rodriguez, 200 South Biscayne Boulevard. I'm also joined by Tim Chestnut.
Mr. Chestnut.
200
Name and address and guilty or not guilty?
Timothy Chestnut, 200 Florida Ave, Tavernier, Florida, and we're guilty, with an explanation.
Okay,
please.
thank you. Good afternoon, Inspector. Can you?
Good afternoon, Inspector Rivera, Code Compliance, North Division.
Okay, Inspector, since they have pled guilty as to the violations, please provide the board with a short synopsis of the violations.
So initially, this came as a 311 complaint also. Loud music, and they see cars coming in and out, loud parties, and a nuisance to the community. I cited them back in January 10th for short-term rental and also work without permit, the offense that they took out without a permit. Possibly there's a tiki hut in the back that also, based on the pictures from the Airbnb site I saw, and there's no permits, that there wasn't any permits in the past for that tiki hut. And
The illegal short-term rental?
was that?
The illegal short-term
Yes.
rental? Okay.
Well, for the permits, because it's both the short-term and the work without permits.
Okay, and you also, on the summons that you provided to the property owner, you marked that it was a repeat violation and that immediate compliance was required. Did
Yes.
they comply immediately?
No.
Okay.
As of today, I went on the website, multiple, Billionaires Club, Lux Rental Miami, Real Estate Asset Technologies is still on there. And it's known as the Villa Manifesto. So if you look up Villa Manifesto, it'll come up.
Okay. And so they had previously been cited. The board adjudicated them guilty. They then came into compliance and then turned around and relisted it as a short-term rental, correct?
Yes, to my knowledge, yes.
Okay, so at this time, we're requesting a $15,000 one-time violation for a violation that's irreparable or irreversible in nature. In addition to that, since the property owner is a commercial property and being used as a commercial property, we're requesting $5,000 a day after 5 days until the property comes into compliance. The property owner is making significant sums on their short-term rentals on the water, and as a result, your $250 a day or $500 do not bring about any kind of compliance with our laws. So at this time, we feel that it's important for the board to step it up.
Yes, Director.
So just to reiterate, and we're going to put it on the board in a few seconds, this is the third adjudication.
Correct.
That you have before you.
Correct.
One is in City View. We're going to put it in the system. One in Code Check, and now this is the third one. So I absolutely mirror the requests and recommendations.
Okay, and Inspector, when did you last check for the listings?
Today.
And it was still
It's
up?
still up, yes.
Okay, so even under the threat of coming before all of you, it is still up?
Do I have any discussions from anybody on the board?
Can we please listen to the owner?
Just might want to listen to him, yeah.
I'm sorry?
No, I was just saying, before we discuss, maybe we want to hear from him.
Okay, hi. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Yes, obviously this property has a history, but in this case, these property owners are reformed. They are trying to comply with the law, and I've passed out a package to the board and the attorneys. They did lease this property for a full 1-year term to a tenant, and then the tenant put these ads up. But prior to the violation even being issued on January 10th, they had issued a letter to the tenant indicating that they were going to evict them if they continued finding short-term rental ads. They've been through this before. They did not want to go through this again. And then on January 10th, coincidentally on the same day that the violation was issued, they filed a complaint in circuit court to have the tenant evicted. They have followed through on that complaint. In your packet, you'll find the judgment. The tenant actually fought back. They had the audacity to fight back on it. It took a while. They obtained a default judgment, and the sheriff executed a writ of possession for the property on March 16th. So they are back in possession of the property, and they are not short-term renting. We're going to respectfully lodge an objection to the notion that the ads are still up because we have not found any ads up. We're not aware of where the ads are up. We will take all actions necessary to get those ads taken off. There is no photograph of the ads being introduced into the record today as there was on the other one. So I have not been able to locate those ads, and I would respectfully ask for some time to locate those and send demand letters to the offerers for this, that they be removed.
Okay, so once you make a guilty plea, it is a shortened process. The file is automatically assumed into the record. But since you're raising this, we're asking for leave to put the entire file and go through each and every notice to his client that is part of the record as they...
We don't need to. He pled guilty.
They said
We don't need to do
We're
that.
not contesting
I
notice.
cannot hear you.
We don't need to do that. They pled guilty.
I think the director
Yeah,
needs to
but
say
he's-
something. There's someone here that would like to speak.
So members of the board, I did on one occasion speak with one of the complainants, and she's here. She's going to provide her testimony. I think it's important that you guys hear from her.
Sure.
Please.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. Can you please state your name and
Yep,
address?
Ashley 𝐂𝐲, 1250 87th Street.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you doing? I didn't meet, you're the attorney, correct?
Yes, Nick
I met
Rodriguez.
Joey, I don't know, he said he was the owner of the property.
Yeah.
We are across the way and have been dealing with this property every weekend. Was the only time that there was anybody in the property. I have 3 young sons, one's with me because we're on spring break, so I can't leave them all there together. But it has just been constant loud noise. I understand, and I spoke to the owner about it because he was on the property last weekend, and he did say that he had subletted, he had problems before and had subletted the property. The issue that I have, and I would understand that, but that weekend that I spoke to him, he was having a commercial party, which should be in the file where they were selling tickets.
Right here.
And they sold 125 tickets, $50 for women and $200 for men. So you think before they were coming to this hearing board, they would at least wait a week before having another party and getting their property back. This is not a property that seems to be a residential property with no intention to be. They're not neighbors.
Correct.
We welcome Joey to move in and to be part of the neighborhood, but we ask that the short-term rentals stop. They're very disruptive, especially on the water, because you can hear the noise and people are there to party. And also the parties that are of commercial nature, we moved to a house with our children to live in a quiet place, not to live near a club. And the weekend before, he knew he was coming here. I mean, the weekend before, why have a commercial party where you're selling tickets online? It really shows a lack of respect for the process and for the neighborhood. If you evicted somebody, that's fine, and everybody likes him and wants that to be, wants there to be peace in the neighborhood, but then why have a party the next week that you're selling tickets to? That's our big issue in the neighborhood. So we just ask that you be a good neighbor and stop. Our street in particular is sort of surrounded by these short-term rentals, and it is very, very disruptive. We have a bunch of elderly neighbors that can't make it down here. They're 87, 90 years old. And as newer neighbors come in, I can make it, but it's still hard with our kids to come to these hearings. And so we just need it to stop because it's such a nuisance to the neighborhood. Sunday night at 11 o'clock may not be late for Miami, but my children wake up at 6 in the morning.
Right.
So, do you have any
Thank you so much
questions?
for providing that input. We will definitely take it under consideration, board. Apparently, this property is still making money, it's still being advertised, and it's...
The advertisement is as it's
here.
live right now.
So, this works fine, but facts are facts.
Yeah, it might have been $20,000 last weekend if you decide how many men and women were at the party.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of money.
It's more important about the money for these owners than it is for the neighborhoods or the respect to the neighborhood and to the property owners that surround them. Like you said, they don't live there, so they don't care.
And Joe is very nice and affable, so he
I'm
seems
sure.
sincere, but at the same time...
One thing has nothing to do with the other.
Right.
So, if
through the chair.
Are we ready to
Through
vote
the
on
chair?
this?
No, can we ask questions?
We haven't spoke yet.
Through the chair, please.
Yes.
We'd just like to ask when the date of this party was. Was it prior to the eviction or
It was after, actually.
after March 16th?
Yeah, I can get you the...
So this week?
Can you hand me my
Yeah.
phone? I'll give you the date, and I can show you when it was.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what she's pointing out.
Madam Chair, just so that you know, They filed the complaint to evict March 13th of this year.
Correct.
The notice to them was January 10th of this year. So they waited February and March to just before this hearing. In the meantime,
I'm going to object to the attorney testifying. That's the attorney.
They filed the complaint on January 10th.
I'm going from
Incorrect facts.
what they provided to us.
I know, but you read it wrong.
Yeah, it says
That's
January
fine.
10th.
Doesn't matter, but you read it wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it's January 10th.
Sir,
But it's
I can
okay.
answer,
Favorite judge, too. It's
I can answer,
Miami's
it was
wife.
on the 22nd of March.
So this week they had a party
Yeah, it
after
was
the
this
eviction.
weekend, right before
Thank-
this hearing. You should probably talk to your
Thanks
client
for
about
letting us
not
know.
doing
We
that.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, are we ready to rule on this? I think we've had
I have
enough
some
discussion on this
questions.
matter.
I have a motion.
What is your motion, sir?
Motion is for a $15,000 reparable fine, one-time fine, also $5,000 per day, and I think immediate removal, correct?
Yes, sir.
Anything else that we need to add to that?
Nope.
Until the site is removed, the violation will
$5,000
continue
per
around
day.
5,000 per day.
We didn't get to add any, I actually asked to ask a question, so.
Okay, well, there's a discussion period, so after we
Yeah.
make the
Yeah, it
motion.
should
Yeah,
be
we did-
motion,
we did a
second,
discussion
and then
period.
discussion. It should
Yes.
be motion, second, discussion.
motion has
before the
been
vote.
seconded.
Right, we have a
That would be
first,
the
we have
right
a
way.
second. All in favor?
No,
No,
discussion.
no, no.
Discussion.
Before a vote, we have to discuss.
Oh, again?
Yes.
We never have officially
Well, I
discussed.
asked if there was anybody could discuss anything and no one else.
No, you should let them testify, then we discuss.
So go ahead.
That's how
discuss
we
it.
run the board.
You can go ahead and discuss.
Okay, so first of all, I wanted to ask the young lady how many times that she's personally had to call 311, how many complaints they've had, so that we kind of get an idea of that, because we don't know. And then for the owner, considering he's up, I wanted to know how many tenants you've had in this property, how long you've owned the property, if you can give us that on record.
It doesn't really matter how long, but
If I have a question, let me just tell
he's a
you.
three-time violator. He has violated
I would
three
like to
times
say
already.
something, if possible. I would like to
Just
speak.
wait, just wait.
Hold on a second.
Can you answer my question? How long have you owned this property? How many
Okay,
tenants have
first
you
of all,
had?
I am not the owner, okay? I'm here representing the owner, though. And the point is that this was under rental, and I understand you're saying that the owners had a party. They're right, they could have a party. That was the owners. But all these violations from the Airbnb was from the tenants, okay? And we did a long-term tenant rental for a year, okay? And we're the ones that found them December 15th. We started this process with the attorneys evicting them a month before any violation came from the city, okay? So we were very proactive. We don't want to get in trouble with the city. We've been trying to, but other than renting it out for a year term, okay, and then to find out that a tenant is going to go through this process, it's hard to judge that ahead of time when really all you're trying to do is rent it for long-term rental. And that's what we have done.
Sir, with all due respect, the person that you rented to, her only business was short-term rentals. That's the only business she has under Sun Biz. So this sublet thing
We
is...
can't have back and forth.
Okay,
We have
I'm
to
sorry,
run
I'm
the meeting
sorry.
from...
We're not doing this.
Okay, we need to take, this property was purchased back on February 11, 2021.
Right.
So they've had it for 3 years and then some. So that answers your question.
So I wanted to ask him a follow-up question. Were you aware that the person that you were renting to ran a short rental business?
We found out December 15th, and that's when we filed.
I'm asking, when you leased the property, were you aware that the person had a short-term
No,
rental
so
business?
the highlighted paragraphs in the lease specifically prohibit short-term rentals.
Okay.
Right?
Listen, if they've violated this 3 times already,
Right.
fine, that's
Before-
history. They know
before-
exactly 4 times. This
It
is the
was
4th time. So
before
they know
January.
exactly what they were doing. This is a money-making machine.
Right.
This is what all people do that have Airbnbs. They
Madam
have-
Chair, may I
Madam
put
Chair.
it on the record?
Yes, you may.
You're here on a repeat violation.
Third.
They
You're not
did
wrong.
not, excuse me, they did not move to evict till after they were charged yet again as a repeat. And the notices go to
We're going to
the
keep
property
doing this.
owners.
We're going to be here till midnight.
We started our
They pled
eviction.
guilty. You made a recommendation. We made a
No, we
motion.
already made a motion.
We
First and
second.
second.
We made a motion. We second.
Okay.
The board should now have discussion, and then we should vote. It
Okay,
shouldn't be
I'll-
anybody else, all right? Or we'll be here
Okay,
forever.
let's close down the discussion.
Well, I don't know if board
We have a
members still
first,
wanna
we have a
discussion.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
I didn't realize the discussion was over, so I'm not
It is
voting.
over. There's nothing else to
I'm
discuss.
abstaining.
Roll call vote, please.
Well, hold on. So, again, I know you're new to chairing, but what if I wanted to make a comment? What if someone made
But she
you have to-
Exactly.
already made a comment.
I understand, but you have to at least
But
give
how many hours?
She doesn't
are we
know
gonna
how to
comment
chair.
For somebody that's been here 4 times.
As many as
It
the
is
board-
guilty, I understand,
But
but
you're not,
they're
you're not,
asking
you're
questions.
not judge, jury, and execution.
Madam
Listen,
Chair,
I have to
everyone
go
vote.
three.
You're wasting all these people's time. We're gonna be here. You're leaving at 7 o'clock or
I'm the one who was
is.
pushing to move it along, but you have to give board members an
But
opportunity.
we did already. She already
Through the
asked for
chair.
1 year, how long? And they're giving all this information and she's still asking more questions. I get it, but we need to move along.
But what if I wanted to ask a question?
Well, too bad.
No, it's not
That's
too
it.
bad.
No, it's not
how
too
it
bad.
works. I mean, it's not
I'm
how
going to
it
make a
works.
motion to remove the
So,
chairwoman.
You're going to have to
You can make a
I wanna
motion to
make-
reconsider. A
Yeah.
party from the losing
Yeah.
side can make a motion to reconsider. And then they would vote on it.
I'll go ahead and do the roll call.
Thank you.
Calling Chair Yvonne Bayona.
I didn't know we were finished with discussion.
You can make a motion
Yes.
to reconsider. And you
Calling
can do it
Vice
only
Chair
if you-
John
I would
Quiñones.
like to make a motion to reconsider
voted yet. What do you
because we haven't done anything. We're not
have
able to discuss
vote
anything.
I mean, somebody has
Yeah.
to understand the rules. I mean, if you want me to explain them to my will, but this is embarrassing.
Right.
We already
It is.
voted.
Counselor was advising her to
This is
make-
chaotic here. Hold on a second. Everybody's talking here at the same time. We already had a motion. We seconded it.
We had discussion.
You didn't open up for discussion,
did.
period.
And I didn't vote. We
You
didn't,
didn't
we didn't
ask
do a roll
everybody
call
to-
vote.
Yes, we did open up to
No,
discussion.
you didn't.
Can
Didn't
we,
I open up to discussion,
can we-
Vice
can we
Chair?
possibly
Didn't I say,
repeat?
let's,
Yes, we didn't have a vote yet.
can we,
didn't have
yeah,
a
we
vote.
did have a,
Madam
yes, we
Chair,
did.
No.
do you
Yeah.
mind, can we repeat what the motion was?
Okay, repeat the motion again, please, Keon.
Motion is for $15,000 in reputable fine, $5,000 per day per diem, and I believe it was immediate removal of
Compliance.
all listings.
Immediate compliance.
Immediate compliance. That's my motion.
And there was a second. And I said all in favor.
Wait, hold on. Before we say all in favor, we say now we're opening it up for discussion.
Now you need to open for discussion.
Again, after we voted?
Yes.
Wait, yes,
Yes.
yes.
So
Even
we're
though
going to
you-
continue to have discussions
Wait,
the
wait,
whole
wait,
night.
wait, wait.
All right,
It's
let's
just-
open up for discussion again.
Just from a formality
Before we
standpoint.
finally vote.
Parliamentary procedure requires motion second, then discussion. Once we
Okay.
do the discussion, you can close.
But how many times are we going to discuss? I mean, I'm trying to understand. We discussed it already.
Madam Chair,
We voted.
Until we're finished discussing.
Hold on.
I'm talking.
So, Madam Chair, I want to help you. I think what we could do for parliamentary procedures, when we open a discussion, maybe we should set a time limit for the discussion for the board members to have questions and back and forth.
Okay.
Once we've
So
reached
we're
that
open
time.
twice for discussion. So before we decide, we discuss, and then when we rule, before we rule, we discuss.
Well,
So you guys, you
wait,
want to discuss two times?
No. Wait, hold on before we comment. What I'm trying to say is just going forward, not twice again, just going forward. We do our motion, we do our second, we open it for discussion. We have a period of time of discussion. At that mark, we close discussion, and we
Okay.
call the vote.
Perfect. So
Okay.
let's open the floor for discussion again.
Correct.
Let's keep discussing this matter.
Let's set a timer.
I don't have a
Give me the chair. You
time
set the
clock.
timer. 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
So
discussion.
who has questions
Well,
again?
first of all, I think you have to make a.
I think it's hard to set time limits on the board unless we vote in procedures.
I know.
But why don't we just see if we can move this along quickly, but just let everybody
Well,
speak?
if you guys keep asking questions and more questions, we'll never
So,
finish, but go ahead.
First of all, I would like to say something. We don't have a sheriff in Miami-Dade County. We will have a sheriff coming after the 2024 elections. So this.
What does that have to do with this? So
Because
please
he
don't
said
waste
it-
time. Please don't waste any more time.
Excuse me,
Stick
let
to the
me
issue.
explain something
Can
to you.
please stick to the issue?
This is open for discussion.
Okay,
You
go
have the
ahead.
same vote that I have, and either you can choose to listen or not, but
Go
you're
ahead
not to
and
interrupt
discuss.
somebody.
Go ahead and
okay?
discuss. Go
You
ahead.
obviously
Listen,
don't know how to run a meeting.
I'm the one in charge
and
here, not
everybody's
you.
sick of this.
I'm
Yeah,
the
I
one
know.
in charge. You can be sick all
Yeah.
you want. You've missed twice and you're learning
Yeah.
the procedure. So
You know
don't
what?
come and tell
I know
me
how to run a
I'm
meeting,
wasting
unlike
more people's
yourself.
time.
So we're in this.
Go ahead and discuss.
And when it comes to,
Don't waste
this
your time.
gentleman
Go ahead
said
and
that he
discuss.
had a sheriff come to his property. We don't have a sheriff, first of all, in Miami-Dade County. So I'm wondering, no, we don't have a sheriff. We have a police. We have Miami-Dade Police. We don't have a sheriff department, okay? We do not have an official sheriff. No, we don't. It's actually on record. The governor has mandated that we have a sheriff by 2024. So therefore, he has no way to get his tenant out of his house because he does not have a sheriff.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Really? For 4 years. This guy has violated for 4 times, and he
Right.
hasn't had a sheriff 4 times?
Through
Are
the
you
chair,
really?
we're asking today's violation to be considered independently because it was not by the owner, it was by the tenant. They've
It
been
doesn't
burnt.
matter. The owner's responsible.
If the tenant is fighting
owner's
back in court, they can have nothing to do.
There's
Mr.
got to be
Zilber,
some decorum, though, right? One at a time. If you have a question, ask
Yep.
a question. If you want to ask, say something, say something. Let's not argue, and then let's move on.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move on, Madam
That
Chair.
was
I'm ready
my
to move
point.
on, too, but I just want to make sure everybody has an
Yep.
opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
I'll continue with the roll call.
Thank you.
Calling Chair Yvonne Bayona.
Yes.
Calling Vice Chair John Cornell.
Yes.
Calling Member Christy Tasker.
Here,
Do you abstain or?
I'm abstaining.
Okay. And calling Member Keon Williams.
Yes.
And calling Member Martin Zilber.
Yes.
Okay, it passes 4-0.
Thank you. Next case, please.
Calling case number 119. The address is 1010 Northwest 41st Street. Case number 000-49432. Again, the address is 1010 Northwest 41st Street. The page number is page number 119. To be heard, code check agenda.
Good evening. Please state your name and address.
Rashida Nelson. Property address is 1010 Northwest 41st Street, Miami 333. That's not my home.
It's
No,
okay.
33127.
Not a problem. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Thank you. We'll let the city present its case.
Go ahead,
Good afternoon.
Inspector Ponzajor, provide a synopsis of your case.
Inspector Point du jour, City of Miami Code Compliance, North Office. The property was cited for work completed without permit. It's a duplex. 1012 was actually where all the work happened. They got it out of the interior of the property, and all that was done without permit. That's the reason we are this afternoon for the hearing.
Okay. City?
Is there a recommendation that you have, sir?
Excuse me?
Is there a recommendation that you have?
Yes, since you already started the paperwork for legalization process of fixing the issues, I would recommend 90 days to finish with the process.
Ms. Nelson, is that enough? I'm sorry.
Mr. Ponzajor, the violations are for failure to register and graffiti? Are those the only two that I show?
No, 1010 Northwest 41st.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Page
so
119.
that's work completed without permit.
It's work without permits.
Correct.
Okay, so you're asking for 90 days,
Yes,
and this is a single-family home, correct?
that's a duplex, yes.
It's a duplex, okay.
It's not home.
But only one half of the duplex is in violation. So we're requesting guilty, 90 days, $150 a day thereafter.
But I show it as not being homesteaded. The addresses are different.
But I believe she is living in the property.
She said she
No.
doesn't live in the
No.
property.
Oh,
It's not a
I'm sorry,
homestead.
when
So
we met.
amended to 250.
250.
250 would be the fee.
Fresh. Madam Chair,
Go
question?
ahead, discussion.
Ms.
Floor is open
Nelson,
for
do
discussion.
you need I'm sorry, you're correct.
Go ahead.
Is 90 days okay, or you need more time than that?
90 days should be fine. We, last week, I was here with the board and they gave me, 60, 90, 120. So the permit is in process. We've been doing everything, so hopefully we should have it taken care of.
Okay.
I'll move for 90 days.
Do I have any other, does anyone else have a comment?
Move, second, then ask for comments, then vote.
Judge.
Well, you'll get it. We'll get
Okay,
there.
okay, so we have a first, we have a
Hold
second.
on, she's trying to ask me a question.
Oh, who's asking a question?
Me, right here.
Okay,
I was going to say, judge motion didn't include the 250 per diem.
Yes, it'll include the 250.
Thank you. I just want to clarify. I'll second.
I got it. Thank you.
Any other further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, you have 90 days.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
90 days and then
250
250 after.
Next case?
Thank you. Calling the cases that are add-on, they are to be heard in the code check agenda. The first one is it's add-on number 4. The address is 2025 Northwest Miami Court. Case number 000-59528. This is 2025 Northwest Miami Court. They are also here for three other addresses, three other cases. You want me to call them all now or do them one by one?
Page 4. Okay, yeah, all those are related.
Okay, so add-on case number 5, address is 2010 North Miami North Miami Avenue. Case number 000-59547. Add-on number 6, 2021 Northwest Miami Court. Case number 000-59579. Also add-on number 7, address 2000 North Miami Avenue. Case number 000-59580.
What are the pages again?
These are the add-on cases. They're in the back of your agenda.
They're all
Okay.
vacant lots owned by the same property owner.
Okay. Good afternoon. Please state your name and address.
Good afternoon, Brian Dombrowski, 333 Southeast 2nd Avenue.
Guilty or not guilty?
The property is guilty. We've been working with the inspector. I know he passed by today, he said we're about 90% there. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but he said we're about 90% there. I think just a little bit more time and we'll get there, probably in the next handful of days.
How much time?
Okay.
How much time do you need?
10 days? 10 days would be fine.
Inspector, 10 days?
Let them they already said that, but let's give them more time so let's give them 30 days.
I'll move for 30 days.
Second.
Okay, and then this is a commercial property.
This is a commercial property.
It's a vacant lot.
The recommended amount. 30 days, and what's the recommended amount after?
After 30 days, $500 a day.
Okay, fine.
The
Yes,
floor is open
good.
for
30
discussion.
days and 500.
Any comments?
Gotta get a second.
Do we got a second? Didn't you second it?
He's amended it. Second.
I added the $500. So
Okay.
it's a second.
We have a first, we have a second? Okay. The floor is open for discussion. Does anybody have any questions?
No questions.
We have a first, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Was that for all of the
Next
properties?
case.
That was for all the property.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Brian, as to all 4, correct?
Correct.
Excuse me. Calling page number 43, address 3275 Southwest 22nd Street. Case number 000-74100, page 43. This is 3275 Southwest 22nd Street. And this is page 43.
Thank you. Good evening. Please state your name and address.
Hi, Erica Cassidy. Address is 1027 24th Street North.
I didn't get your name, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Erica Cassidy.
Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Wait, did we have a conversation about the power of attorney?
That's correct. I am missing a witness on my power of attorney.
Okay, so this is an abstention. You're welcome to hear what she has to say, but the power of attorney is legally insufficient.
Right. We are giving her the courtesy to speak, but it's still be considered an absentia. So, Inspector, if you can please.
Then I have a question. I have a question then. Are you going to treat this as a not guilty, or are you going to treat this, because you can't technically say not guilty?
I always treat the abstentions as a not guilty. I present the file, present the testimony of the inspector, and then make our request.
Right, our recommendation.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, please state your name and official position.
Vanessa Pino, Code Compliance Southeast Office.
And did you issue a citation to the property at 3275 Southwest 22nd Street?
Yes.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes.
Okay, and what we've marked as Exhibit A are your photographs of the violation as well as the emails between you and the parties, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and Exhibit C are the summonses and notices required by Florida law, correct?
Correct.
Madam Chair, I'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submitted.
Thank you. And you basically cited the property for causing off-site sedimentation or turbidity into the waterways, private or public property, or the storm sewer system of the city of Miami. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the code mandates that it be $1,000 per day per violation. You also cited them for failure to maintain the lot in a safe, clean condition, not accumulating debris, trash, or dense growth of grass, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and could you give the board members a short synopsis of any discussions you may have had with the property owners when you cited the property, and any efforts that they may have made in order to bring it into compliance?
Okay, so this is the Winn-Dixie on Coral Way and 32nd Avenue. I received a complaint from the commissioner's office in reference to some type of backup coming out of, they weren't sure if it was sewage or the grease trap or whatnot. I responded to the property. The county DERM inspector had already cited them. I spoke to the manager of the store, who eventually started working on it. There was already, I think, a plumber on site when I was there, so they were fixing the problem right away. It was taken care of. She did send me the documents showing me all of the invoices of services that they had provided to do exactly what DERM asked them to do. I just piggybacked off of what he requested from them because he is the expert in the area. My issue with them and why I cited that, or why I wanted them to come, is to get adjudicated, because as far as the maintenance, not the sewage issue, the maintenance of the property as far as trash and leaves and homeless people leaving their stuff behind has been an issue, because I get a lot of complaints from the Coral Gate neighborhood about the trash. So that's why I wanted them to be adjudicated. They are working on getting more service for the dumpster to be emptied more often, so on and so forth. They've been in cooperation with me. It was just a matter of them getting adjudicated because it's a constant issue. They have registered, not registered. They have done the no trespass affidavit so that police can remove the people from the property. I think they just need to put up the signs, right?
No,
or that was done already?
They're put up already.
They put up the signs. So it's just them dealing with cleaning the property more often and getting it to be nice all the time, and increasing the service for the dumpster to avoid the issue of the bad smell and the complaints from the Coral Gate neighborhood behind the store.
How much time are you recommending?
And let me just get this on the record.
Go ahead.
What did you say as to the offside sedimentation?
They did they complied right away. And there was somebody there when I responded. They already had somebody there looking into the issue.
So members
Right
of the
away.
board, we're technically looking, you have complied, they took them post the NOV, so technically this NOV and summons is valid. So we're looking for the adjudication, and you can put 5 days, because you're gonna have an affidavit of compliance, and make sure it doesn't happen again, and they're vigilant, otherwise we're coming back as a repeat.
Right. So we're requesting guilty 5 days, $250 a day. And since they have complied, Inspector Pino will move to close it. And for purposes of this, is if they do it again, they will be treated as a repeat, and we will go to 5,000.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Floor is open for discussion. Anybody has any comments?
What the city recommended, I assume?
Well,
I don't know what the motion was.
The motion's going to be adjudication, 5 days.
250 per day.
For compliance purposes, I believe it's going to be closed
Right. And $250 a day thereafter.
with them revisiting the site down the road.
And 250?
250 a day.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Question. Do, the situation with, that situation with Durham has already been taken care of. But as it pertains to, Counselor, no, I'm done.
Okay. All in favor?
Oh, wait, she's here.
Oh, would you like to, well, she has no power of attorney, but would you like to say something?
No, I'm good.
You're good? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case?
Calling page number 83, address 3501 Southwest 6th Street, case number 000-65921. Again, this is page 83, address 3501 Southwest 6th Street.
Good afternoon, Board. Gustavo Dezendigui on behalf of 3501. Address is 1111 King Concourse Suite 310, Bay Harbor Islands, Florida 331.
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Thank you.
Not guilty.
We'll let the city present its case. Good
Okay, Inspector, state your name and official position.
Yes, Roberto Martinez, School Compliance, Southwest Office.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 3501 Southwest 6th Street?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes,
Okay, and what we've marked as Exhibit A are your photographs of the violations as well as the research you did on the city's iBuild system, correct?
that is correct.
And Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Correct.
And Exhibit C are the summonses and notices required by Florida law, correct?
That is correct.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Okay, and what you cited them for was work performed without a permit and/or a permit that was not finalized, correct?
That is correct.
You also cited them for outside storage of miscellaneous materials, equipment, and debris, and off-street parking or loading area used for the storage of materials, correct?
That is correct.
And you also cited them for failure to maintain the lot in a safe, clean condition, correct?
That's correct.
Have you had any contact with the property owner?
Yes, recently.
And what did they say?
They're in the process right now. They just showed me they have a process number. So it's a start.
Okay, so is that the property owner?
Yes,
And so he indicated, you told him the violations, and he indicated that he was trying to rectify them.
that is correct.
Okay, and do you have anything else you want to add for the board?
No, basically they need the after-the-fact permit for the scope of the work that was completed.
Okay, and what were some of the issues with permitting that they did not do? Was it exterior windows?
Doors, sapati on the back, remodeling. That's what I saw on the outside. And going, I didn't.
So they did not give you access to the inside?
No, they didn't get no access to the inside.
Okay. So, and so they weren't cooperating with you, basically?
Actually, when I was there was nobody there at the time. There was a gentleman there, but he told me that he was working on fixing the property, but he did not give me access.
Now, in the debris that you found on the lot, was there evidence of materials, working materials?
Yes,
Okay, and concrete slabs and whatnot, correct?
correct.
And have they cleaned up the lot?
Yes, it's already been cleaned because the work has been already completed.
Okay.
Oh.
So basically, what was the debris was the construction materials that they had thrown out there?
That is correct.
Okay. So, did you want to add anything else for the board?
No, that's it.
So have they complied with any of the violations? According to you, they have. So
The
they
cleanup of the debris.
Correct. And
Well, and the failure to maintain a lot safe in condition?
yeah, failure to maintain as well. So the only active one is the work company without a permit.
The 2104?
Yes.
So they've complied with 2108 and 2180, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, so at this time, we're requesting a guilty finding, 30 days to come into compliance, and the maximum fine to commence on the 31st day. So this is a corporate owner.
It looks like it's homesteaded.
It says it. It's not homestead.
It's not?
No.
Okay, because it says here it is. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's not homestead. So we're requesting guilty, how many days did I?
30.
30 days, $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Sir, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I just don't think 30 days is reasonable. The city is taking forever to issue permits. His permit was applied for
When
in
did you
November.
apply for the, when
In
did they apply for the
November.
permit? November? Is it
November,
under
yeah.
corrections or anything like that? Do we know?
Yes, we do. It's in the, there you go. We have
I think
it
it's
on
in the final
screen.
stages, but it took me 9 months to get a demo permit on another property.
It's in review.
The city's taking forever on every permit getting issued.
He was cited October 4th of 2023.
And when did he apply for the application? August.
August 21st.
So he
2023.
did it before.
But the application doesn't mean,
No, I know, but he applied before.
Right, but then it was canceled. Go back, Robert.
Yes, but he's complied from 3 to 2 violations, so he only has 1 outstanding.
Which is the big one. The only reason he complied was because he finished doing the illegal work.
I'm just saying that out of 3, they've complied with 2.
There was one canceled
One's
October
canceled,
3rd. So
one's
they
reviewed.
were created, then the master process plans were canceled.
They have 1 canceled, they have 1 active,
And 1 in review.
which is in review.
So our position is if the property owner's not cooperating with the inspector, I mean, I wouldn't even do 30 days, I would do 5, but, you know, that's my preference.
How much time do you think you need, sir?
I would say 90 days.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion or any?
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead.
Make a motion to give him 60 days maximum fine on the 61st day.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, floor is open for discussion. Any further discussion? Comments?
I had a question for the gentleman. Sir, why is it taking so long? You said that you said a demolition permit?
No, that was on another property. I'm just
Gotcha.
using that as an example.
What's taking so long with this one?
I don't know. There's just the process takes forever.
The city.
I mean, from other properties that I've dealt with in the city of Miami, I don't know if you guys live here or if you pull
We
the
do.
permit.
We
It
live
just takes forever. It takes 3 months for an arborist to look at it if there's a tree and you need to get. I mean, you guys need to know the real facts of what's going on out there. You can't.
Sir,
get a
the
permit
real
in 30
facts
days.
are you did work without a permit.
Okay. Well, we're just trying to correct the facts. You know, I don't disagree. I pleaded guilty, didn't I?
But it's also a fact that the city does take a long time.
Yes.
And
It
I
is.
agree
We
with that.
agree.
Do I have a first? Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case. Page 94, address 3171 Northwest 2nd Street, case number 000-44355. Address 3171 Northwest 2nd Street, page 94, to be heard, code check agenda.
Good evening.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you? Can you please
Leopoldo
state
Fernandez, 3171 Northwest 2nd Street.
guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Thank you. We'll let the city present its case.
Okay,
Inspector, state your name and give the board a brief synopsis.
Yes, Roberto Martinez, Code Compliance, Southwest Office.
Go ahead.
Do you need the file?
1 second, yeah, because I just.
Okay, go ahead. No, take it with you.
Take it with you. So he reviews the violations and questions that work performed without a permit, maintaining structure encroaching the required setbacks, failure to maintain exterior of commercial residential property, outside storage, parking of storage of inoperable untagged vehicles.
That was complied.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I see improper stationing of recreational watercraft as complied, not the
Improper station, correct.
So, go ahead, Mr. Martinez.
Okay, this is a complaint that came in. For the property, they had a CBS fence wall that was falling apart. They removed it without a permit. Also, there's an enclosure of a carport, which does not reflect any permit in the system.
That's the closure?
Yes.
That looks like shutters.
It was like it was a carport, and here on the records, and it was enclosed.
If it's habitable space.
If you look below, Madam Chair, where the carport was enclosed, you'll see that they created, down below, you'll see that there's a stucco, cement, whatever.
It looks like shutters to me. because
No,
it's
I know
also
that they put shutters, but I'm trying to say that if you look below, they built up the bottom, below the shutters.
Go put it in the record. So any habitable space, we don't want to go down that path, right? Because it's hurricane season's coming up. But if it's habitable, you have so many days to unshutter it, okay? That becomes a life safety issue. Just saying. You want to go ahead and put in the record that you're looking at the old plans with the structure? You want to put that on the record?
Yes, on the tax card record, it reflects it was a carport opened which is you see on the side, it was enclosed, the front as well. So what they did was they cemented the side and they covered the front. So
The original
it's like
plans is an
enclosure.
open carport, and they've enclosed it.
Okay, and how much time, has there been any application filed with the city?
Yes, the owner has been working with me since
With you?
day one, yes, and they're in the process. I know it
So
takes
how
a
much
while.
time are you recommending?
I would say 90 days.
Okay, so
Because
I
they are-
I never go above, but in this instance, because they are cooperating with the code inspector, I would say guilty 120 days. And I believe it's a single-family home, correct?
150
That's correct.
homesteaded.
150 after that.
Sir, would you like anything, do you have anything to say?
Yes, sir. When we bought the house, that's the way it was.
When did you purchase the house?
Excuse
How
me?
long ago did you purchase the house?
1990.
Oh, 1990.
My father bought.
I'll move the recommendation.
Things were, that's the way it was.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
The floor is open for discussion. Any discussion? No, I have a first, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
You have 120 days, sir.
Okay,
Speak
sir?
to the inspector so he can explain to you.
Right, and speak to
Thank
the,
you.
sir, speak to the inspector about extensions of time, and he'll walk you through our process, okay?
Calling page 113, address 1852 Northwest 48th Street, case number 000-51460. Page 118, address 1852 Northwest 48th Street. Page 118.
Good afternoon. Can you please state your name and address?
I'm sorry, page 113, 113.
Okay, thank you.
She is the owner. I'm just going to represent her.
She has to allow you to speak. Please state your
No.
name and address.
Raisa Avelino.
Sir, are you an attorney?
Your address?
Are you an attorney? No, I'm an architect. Okay.
Your address, ma'am?
Address?
Yes.
1852 Northwest
And the name?
48th Street.
She said her name. Can you repeat your name, please?
Raisa Avelino.
Guilty or not guilty? She has to speak.
No guilt. No.
Not guilty?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Okay. Would you allow this gentleman to speak? What is his name?
My name is Jane Torres.
Do you allow Mr. Torres to speak?
Sí. Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Torres?
Yes.
Name and address again?
Jane Torres, 2277 Northwest, 171st Terrace.
And you are the architect for the
Correct.
property owner?
Yes.
Okay, I apologize, Madam Chair, but I don't think she speaks any English, and we were asking her questions in English before she gave authority to this
She
gentleman.
answered them. She understood.
understood.
She said
She
yes.
understood.
We're good. Let's keep going.
I can translate if you
Well,
No, she understood.
Judge, let's be extra cautious. It'll take 30 seconds. Let's make sure that she understands. We have a translator.
We
In
all
case
feel
this
she
goes-
understood,
I know she did.
and we watched her.
Yeah.
We're good.
We go to 11 Judicial, you're going to come with us.
Do you would like to ask her if she understood everything that I asked her? In English? And if she was guilty or not guilty?
Just ask her guilt and if he can speak.
Right.
Those
I
are
know
the
she
only
did.
two
She
issues
said
you
she
really need to
understood.
know.
She did understand. She does authorize him to speak on her behalf.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we may proceed.
Mr. Torres, I'm sorry. Go ahead and proceed. Guilty? She said guilty, right?
No guilty.
No, not guilty.
Not guilty. Okay, we'll let the city present its case. Inspector, all yours.
Inspector Patricio Edgebert, City of Miami Code Compliance, North Office. The property was cited for.
Wait. She pled not guilty, or she
Guilty.
pled not guilty.
Yes, she pled
Not guilty.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Let her ask.
Inspector, did you provide me with, well, first of all, did you cite the property at 1852 Northwest 48th Street?
That's correct.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs of the violations and your personal notes as well as your research on this property?
Yes.
And what we've marked as Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Correct.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Thank you. And did you cite the property owner for work performed without a permit?
Yes.
Okay. And Inspector, did you have any contact with this property owner?
No.
Okay. And what were your observations and what did you find in the records?
Yeah, that was a proactive case. I was driving by, and as you can see, the property was the middle of major renovation. On the west side, the wall was in the process of being replastering. They have new windows, doors.
Can we get the photograph back up, please?
Yes.
All that was done without permit. And check the system. I built, there's nothing into the system reflecting the work that was conducted at the property.
Okay. Okay. And so you haven't been inside the house? You don't know what they've done there?
No, I haven't been inside.
Okay, but we do know what they did outside without any
Outside,
permit?
yes.
Okay, we're requesting a guilty finding. This is not Homestead. And we're requesting a guilty finding, 30 days to come into compliance, and $500 a day thereafter.
I have a question, Inspector. Is this a duplex?
Go back to the picture.
Because it shows on the tax roll that it's a duplex.
Yes,
It
in the
says-
back, there's another unit in the back. There's another structure in the back. But I don't know if Miami-Dade has it as a duplex.
This is considered, this property is a duplex.
It's a duplex?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
2 living units.
It's 2 living units.
Okay? So we're requesting guilty, 30 days to come into compliance, $500 a day thereafter.
But I still have a question. Why do we have only one address when this is a duplex? We have 1852 and this is a duplex. So what's the other address? That's on the tax roll.
So let me see.
I just have, the property address is 1852 Northwest 48th Street.
But it's a duplex.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
This is all I have in the file.
And as a point of clarification, we're going to put it on the board in a few seconds under iBuild. The last permit is from 2022, and it's a roofing permit. Okay, let's put that up there.
May I speak now?
Okay, so thank you.
May I speak?
Yes, you may, Mr. Torres.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Okay, just clarify, this is owner's home. Her name is 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐲. She bought the property, and when she moved in, whatever was there was there. We pull out the microfilms. I got them right here. She was before the panel for unsafe structure on February 23rd, 2024. She was given a 60-90-120, 60 days to submit plans, 90 days to pull out a permit, and 120 days to perform the work.
Sir, for clarification purposes, the time you provided, 30, 60, 90, is by the unsafe structure board.
Correct.
Correct? Not.
That's correct. Yeah, correct. The reason I'm bringing these dates is because the attorney just giving her 30 days, but I just want to know if the 30 days could get an extension of time.
That is my recommendation. The board, as you see, many times ignores me, and they reach their own proper and judicious conclusions. I'm the prosecutor. So
Okay.
my attitude is you shouldn't have done anything without a permit, and therefore why should you be given any amount of time?
The reason is she didn't do it.
No, that's, you speak to the board, not me.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I think he's still explaining.
No, I know, but then we'll ask him to come back. I'm asking you guys if you have a motion.
Well, before I make a motion, I'd like to ask him.
You want him to finish explaining?
Well, I'd like
Go-
to ask him a question, I guess.
Okay.
How much time do you think you need and why?
I think it will be reasonable to have the 60, 90, 120, the same time frame that we're having with unsafe structure, so we can get.
We don't work 60, 90, 120.
All right.
Either 60, or it's 90, or 120.
All right. So to start 60 days, can we get an extension if we see that we are getting?
You will always have the ability to come back, whatever we rule, if it's 60, 90, or 120. If it passes the 61 day, you'll start getting fined. So you have to come back again and request another extension.
I would move for 60 days.
Okay, do I have a second?
What
Any other
is
further?
the fine?
The fine has to be,
What's the
well,
recommended fine?
500.
500's fine.
well, she's living in the property, correct?
That's what I wanted to ask.
She lives in the property. She doesn't reclaim
So the
homestead, but she
250.
lives here.
250. All right, 60 days with
You can see it on the
250.
property appraisal.
No, it's not, the homestead is not on the property.
60 days with 250.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have another further discussion? No, I have a first, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
Calling page 70, address 34 Northeast 11th Street, 34 Northeast 11th Street. Case number 000-72646, page 70.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. Evan Cruz, Greenspoon Martyr. Office is located at 600 Brickell Avenue, Miami, Florida, 33131. Here on behalf of the property owner, Park
Guilty
West.
or not guilty, sir?
Not guilty with an explanation. We're requesting 120 days time. This
Well,
was
you'll have enough time to ask for that.
with an
Let the city
explanation?
present its case.
Not guilty?
Thank you so much.
I don't think
Wait.
Said not guilty.
Counselor, are you saying guilty with an explanation?
correct.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
what you meant.
All right, so at this time, Inspector, please state your name and official position and provide the board with a brief synopsis.
Code Compliance Inspector Francois with the After Hours team. So I received an email from my senior inspector about an illegal pipe that was running down a building, and it was more about the concern about they did construction on the sidewalk. They installed a pipe underneath the sidewalk that led into the street that goes into the storm drain. So I issued a ticket for we don't know what substance is coming out of the drain that's leading into the storm drain, so I issued a ticket for that, and I also issued a NOV for work without a permit.
Okay, so you don't know if it's coming from excess water from a toilet or anything other than runoff, maybe water? We don't know.
We don't know. But it is a pipe that's coming from out of the building. If you scroll up
Right.
a little, it's coming from out of the building into this drain that leads down.
Is that the picture in question? Is that what you're referring to? There's another one?
Picture.
I saw another picture on the top. It's 72,
If you scroll
46
back
something.
a few, you will see it.
Is the city, does the city agree with the 120 days?
No. 120 days?
Yeah.
When
Well,
there's
so
water
does-
coming out and we don't have any testing?
I'm just asking a question. They asked for 120 days. Does the
No.
city agree? Does code agree?
So my hesitation is, let me hear from the subject matter expert. You do have someone here. Why that many days to get?
Just some
Talk about it.
background on this
Yes.
property. The neighboring property is undergoing construction. They actually put up that pipe. We're working with them so that we can resolve the matter and pull the permit to have that pipe there. If you look, it's right in between both properties. My client's property and the neighboring property. Right. I have the contractor here to answer any questions the board may have.
Okay, but my concern is that the city's experts have not been able to go inside and test to see what's coming out into our city streets.
Why?
I cannot say if their
Any issue
inspector
with that?
has access been denied.
Well, since December?
Honestly, this is the first time I'm speaking to anyone from the property.
You see? Yeah. The property owner has not had any contact with the inspector. I can absolutely not agree to to recommend 120 days because we don't know what they have there. And we are asking the board to require the property owner to give access. And that's why I always say guilty, 5 days, maximum fine, unless if they provide access to the city, then we would amend it to go up to 60 days. And the reason we do the short is because we want access right away.
Do I have a motion?
No, they're not done. I have questions.
I know,
There's
but-
a lot of stuff going on.
I'm not, I didn't get.
Your name?
Jerry Goodkin-Dawsey.
And you are?
The owner's rep and their general contractor.
Does she have a power of attorney to, well, she has an attorney to
she's here with
speak in
the
her
attorney.
behalf.
She's with the attorney.
Right, she has her attorney.
And she's a contractor.
Address, please?
My address?
Yes.
1111 King Concourse, Suite 509, Bay Harbor Islands, Florida, 33154.
And you would like to say?
So the pipe, as our attorney stated, is in between the two buildings. The pipe actually belongs to PMG on the property next door. But where the sidewalk is, the pipe is in the middle. Where that drain line comes from is our
Can
property.
you give the city access?
I have no problem if you want to walk into space. I could care
No,
less.
we don't
But
need
the
to go to
problem
space,
is,
but we need to confirm what the status is, because there's concerns regarding.
I have no problem. The last time I agreed to just for the record, the last time I agreed to let somebody on a different project, it took me 5 weeks to get the inspector there from the building department.
Sorry, Jerry, we're not building, we're
Yeah.
code. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I just want to also say that when I proved to Jean, the code enforcement officer, that this is PMG, that the violation gets
But it's
off of mine.
But it's in your property. Is it not in your property?
No.
That's what she's saying.
That's what
It's
she's
her property
saying. She's
next
saying it's
door.
not her property.
So if you provide support evidence that it's not within the boundaries of your property, then the case gets closed and the proper entity gets
Thank
cited.
you.
So I'll make a motion, 10 days.
No, give them 30 days.
Just defer it?
Can I
Give
speak?
them-
No.
Yes, let's defer it to the April 10th hearing. Kevin, is that okay with you?
That works. I think in the time being, we can get with Inspector Francois and let them onto the property, and we can determine who the violation exactly belongs to. And they can-
Right, and Madam Chair, could there be a motion to reset this to April 10th?
I'll move
Motion?
to defer, set it for April.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor? Aye.
Thank you, Board. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Call me on my cell.
Okay, so we'll see you back here.
Calling page number 52, address 1715 Southwest 37th Avenue, case number 000-73215, page 52. He is also here for another case as well.
I'm sorry, what page
Page
number?
52,
5-2, page 52.
address 1715 Southwest 37th Avenue, case number 000-73215. This is a to be heard. He's also here for another case as well.
I apologize, Melanie, can you repeat the page number?
52, 5-2.
Do they relate? Can we call them both, or they're different?
No, it's different.
Stand by.
This one was.
Good evening. Name and address, please.
Brian Dombrowski, 333 Southeast 2nd Avenue. Sorry, I was grabbing the inspector.
It's okay. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty. Spoke to the inspector. I think there's a couple of items left to clear up. There's some leaves, I think a couch maybe on the site, and a dresser, and some non-trespassing signs.
Excuse me.
I think they were up originally, and some vagrants have removed them from the site.
And Brian, have they registered the vacant?
It has been registered, yes.
It has been?
Yes.
Okay, so guilty, so what do we want, Vanessa, Inspector?
Sorry, Vanessa Pino, Code Compliance Southeast Office. So I wanted the adjudication because it's an eyesore and there's been various complaints even after I've already had the case open. They have secured the property. They did remove all of the furniture. I went by today. Now there's a new piece of furniture. They need to keep up with the landscaping and the trash pickup, and they need to put up their no trespassing signs. They did do the registration.
Okay, so if you do the no trespassing, then we assume that you are taking appropriate steps forward so that the police and code can go on the property and remove whatever.
We'll get
So-
those signs up so
Thank you so much. So we're doing guilty 10 days and what,
can we,
Put 30, 250. Let's give extra time so that we can
30 days.
I think 30 days. Mr. Brodsky, is that good enough, 30 days?
yes.
Guilty,
I'll
30
move.
days, 250.
Guilty,
Do I have a
30
second?
days.
Second.
Any
There has
further
to be a motion
discussions?
first,
Question.
right?
I had a question.
Doesn't there have to be a
Go ahead.
motion?
I made a motion.
I'm just having a question, discussion period. Did the city recently pass, this is to the director, did the city recently pass code where if you put up like boards over certain things?
So that is fantastic. This is a 30-second discussion. I actually have a draft of requiring respondents, right? You and I spoke, we spoke at one point in time, because it looks unsightly. So it's in process. I'm hoping to bring it back to commission, get it sponsored, so that the boards get painted white. It looks so much better than the bearing wood. So it's in process. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. And I only mentioned it, Madam Chair, because the inspectors pointed out before that they've gotten the same thing. And I don't want them to unnecessarily be constantly being cited for unsightliness, but it's something that, you know, if they're aware of it, at least let's put it on record, you know.
Thank you so much. So I have a first and I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, you got 30 days.
Thank you.
Council is also here for another case. This one is a mitigation. It's in code check. It is page 203. The address is 7950 Northeast Bayshore Court. Case number is 000-15999. The page number is 203. This is a mitigation. It is 103 days old. The address is 7950 Northeast Bayshore Court.
Good afternoon, please state your name and address.
Good evening, Board. Brian Dombrowski, 333 Southeast 2nd Avenue. So this is a mitigation. It is in an apartment rental building on Bayshore Drive. My client purchased the property, and the renewal notices for the certificates of use were going to the prior address. So that certificate lapsed. By the time Inspector Hernandez reached out, we were able to resolve it pretty promptly, got it applied for, and it looks like there was just some oversight. And
yes,
he complied the case in September of that year after 103 days, but the certificate of use had actually been issued 2 months prior, in July. I think when they went through that process to get their CU, they thought that by getting it, it would tell code enforcement that it had been resolved, but their systems, unfortunately, are not communicative. So it did run for that 103 days. We would ask for the maximum mitigation amount, which I believe is a 60%,
It's 40%.
40%.
120 days is 40%.
Correct. So a 60%
That would be
reduction.
$20,600.
Correct. That would be the request.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Question.
Go ahead.
City Attorney, the lowest, we have to stick to mitigation guidelines, correct? In this, gotcha.
Unfortunately, yes. That's
Not
the
residential?
framework, that's
No, that's what
the inbox, output table, input, output. Yeah.
I understand.
Director, even if we could show that we were in compliance 60 days earlier, I understand.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are completely, they must adhere to that matrix until such time that it's,
Doesn't fit one of the exceptions?
unless
No,
it's
but-
amended.
Because it's
Well,
not-
look at the property. It is not a single family, it's not a
not a
duplex,
single,
and it's
right.
not a vacant lot.
So what the board can do is refer him to the code compliance director to review the evidence that they have, so that the code compliance director can come back and say, it is our determination that it was an earlier compliance date, and it's up to the board whether to accept an earlier compliance date. But again, that's up to you all.
Right. Board, I think we should take that under consideration.
I would like
don't-
to make that motion on behalf of
I
this.
think it's causing too many delays with our tenants and getting their certificates and getting their permits to open. So I think we'll take, if you guys would give us the reduction that we're permitted under the code, we'll
The
take that.
20,600?
Are you sure? Because if it's less, we just want to make sure. I only raised the question because you argued that it was complied with much earlier. We don't want to fine you, have you accruing fines for something that was
No,
complied with
I
much
understand.
earlier.
We'll take the mitigation.
Okay.
for that,
Do
just
I
so
have
they can
a,
proceed.
perfect. Do I have a motion?
Mitigation 40%.
$20,600. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
20,600. Thank you. Wait for the order.
Yes.
Going
Next
back to
case.
the to be heard, this is code check. This is the add-on case 3. It is behind the yellow portion of your book. It's page 7, and the address is 768 Northeast 72nd Street. Case number 7448. The address is 768 Northeast 72nd Street. This is a to be heard. It is an add-on case, add-on 3, but it's on page 7 behind the yellow portion of the booklet.
Thank you. Page 7, add-on. And what is the address?
768 Northeast 72nd Street.
768. Okay, got it. Good
Brett.
evening. Name and address, please.
Brett Sherman, 768 Northeast 72nd Street.
Guilty or not guilty, Mr. Sherman?
Can I plead one for one? There's 3 things on here. Can I plead not guilty to one of them?
No, it has to
No?
be. Yeah, either
Well, which
guilty or not
one?
guilty, or
Sir, which is the one that you want to plead not guilty to?
To work performed without a permit.
Have you complied that violation, Inspector? No?
No.
No? No? We can't.
Okay.
If he had said he had already complied it, then.
Okay, then I'll plead guilty.
okay, let
Okay.
the city present its case and we'll come back to you for comments.
No, you pled guilty, right?
Yes.
So, synopsis, Inspector Rivera.
Inspector Rivera, Code Compliance, North Division. Again, this was a complaint, Airbnb from citizen. Again, loud music, parties. I cited him, or the property, in December 29th, 2023, for the short term and work without a permit. The driveway was all paved, and when I looked onto the iBuild, there was no permits. As of today, there's still no permits. And Mr. Sherman did call me within a week after I cited him. He did tell me he was going to put in the application for the permits, and nothing happened, and now we're here. And again, like I said, in the system, there's still no permits. The short-term rental ads, they are still up, and as of today that I checked, they are still there active.
They are up on which website? Airbnb?
They are RVBO, TripAdvisor, Dream Villas Miami, and specifically his short-term is known as the Gucci Manor.
And so he's in like 3 different websites?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And do you remember offhand how much he's charging a night?
Not that I remember, but I believe it's like $2,500 per night.
Okay. Yeah. So at this time, we're moving for an irreparable harm fine of $15,000. In addition to that, a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, and the maximum fine thereafter until compliance is achieved.
I have another question. What day was he fined?
He was cited on December 29th.
And he's still doing business, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
What's the per diem?
I was only notified January 12th of the violation.
So it's, the maximum fine is $1,000 per day for a non-residential property for a first-time offender. This is a first-time offender?
Yes, it is. First time.
I'm sorry, Mr.
So
Sherman,
we're
go ahead.
asking for guilty 5 days, $1,000 a day thereafter, plus a $15,000 irreparable harm.
I was notified January 12th of this. I wasn't notified in December. It says it on my form here. I did remove, I removed Airbnb down. This other stuff is kind of a little bit more difficult to remove because we've removed it, but it's still showing up on, like, when you Google it. So
When did you remove the Airbnb? Because he says it still shows up today.
I have a picture showing that it was removed.
Okay, can you show him that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And before you is the posting of the violation of the property.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm sure the day of December that he got violated was posted on the property. That was my next.
Can we make a motion?
But thank you.
Well, they're discussed. Look, there are things that we need to improve significantly, and there are things that we do well. Notice is one of the things that we do well.
Inspector, did he prove to you that he has removed it from Airbnb?
Yes, he
Well,
showed
he
me.
had it on several sites.
Yeah, but he had it on several.
Well, he just cleared that.
I
He
could
just
get with
said
the
that.
native to show him all the websites where it's advertised at.
Okay,
So I
so
tried to remove them all.
he hasn't shown you that.
He showed me one.
Okay, again, I'm going to repeat our position. $15,000 irreparable harm. Guilty, 5 days to come into compliance, $1,000 a day thereafter. If he contacts his other entities and tells them, remove it now,
they will remove it within the 5 days.
Right.
So that's our
Chairman, as you
position.
were
So,
saying?
like I said, I removed everything at the same time. For some reason, they're still showing, I don't know why, so I need to go look into that deeper. But I showed him that the Airbnb is down. So I'm just asking for 5 more days to get it completely off the internet. Obviously, it wasn't as easy as I thought.
Do you have the property rented at this time?
No.
You don't. Inspector, the property not rented?
I went by today. There was cleaning ladies, but I didn't see any. Yeah.
Because it's today's when they're this weekend, yeah.
So, Madam Chair, for your consideration, right? So he's having issues. I have no objection to amending it lightly, very lightly, Liz. I know she's looking at 10 days. We can give him extra 5 days. The $15,000 reparable stays.
Right.
And then it is incumbent upon Mr. Chairman to provide all the support evidence to our code compliance inspector.
Listen, I just want to say, when he got the notice of violation, the time started clicking. Had he gotten in touch with Airbnb and all the others, they would have been down by then. So, with all due respect to the director, these are areas that are important to our city commission, and these are issues that are important to our city commission.
Well, I think these are issues that are important to the property owners that reside by his property.
Oh, absolutely.
They're dealing with the Airbnb.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Where do you live, Mr. Sherman?
I live in the house. I just sometimes, when I would rent it out and go on vacation.
But that's your address? That's your mailing address?
Yeah, that's his homestead.
And then, but I was only notified January 12th, so I don't know where the December date
It's
came
posted
from.
on your door.
Okay.
When you get the violation, it's automatically posted on your
Okay.
front door.
And then as far as the work without a permit, it was tile on my front porch that was rotting and everything, and I replaced it, but I wasn't aware that you needed to get a permit for
For
that.
everything, you need a permit.
Yeah.
Because it was like moldy and breaking, so I replaced that.
Not a problem.
And in addition to that, he filed for homestead exemption.
Yes,
And the property appraiser's office takes short-term rentals and the commercial use of property
Very seriously.
very seriously. And we have an obligation to turn over that information
Put it
to
up.
them. So you need to be prepared for them contacting you.
You could probably lose your homestead.
So part of our process, as we
More
work
than
with
that.
legal department, we provide this information, we forward this to the property appraiser.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I have a motion.
Go ahead.
Okay.
My motion would be for the 15,000 reparable guilty, I'm sorry, not guilty, $1,000 per day, 10 days.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any further discussions? No?
I would
Have-
recommend that we give him less than 10 days because this is all within his control. He can pretty much go in and disable the account as a whole so that he's not continuously disturbing the neighbors. So that would be my only decision, is that we give him 2 days to take the listings down.
Okay. We have a first, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 You're no?
No.
Roll call, please. Thank you.
Excuse me. Calling Chair Yvonne Bayona.
Yes.
Calling Vice Chair John Cornell.
Yes.
Calling Member Keon Williams.
Yes.
Calling Member Martin Zilber. Yes. Calling Member Christy Tasker.
No.
Okay, it passes 4-1.
Thank you. You have 5 days to take them off.
10.
Please stay in touch with your inspector so you don't get into any further trouble.
You give him 10
Thank you.
days.
Yeah, I
Thank
gave- I
you.
gave
Have
him
a good
10
night.
days. Madam Chair, the motion was for 10 days.
I couldn't hear you.
The motion was for 10 days. 10. Yes.
Okay, sorry. 10 days.
That was
Calling page 63 to be heard. This is not page, I'm sorry, the address is 95 Northeast 70th Street, case number 000-48646. The address 95 Northeast 70th Street, page 63. To be heard, code check agenda.
Good evening. Please state your name and address.
𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐲, 95 Northeast 70th Street.
Guilty or not guilty?
I could say not guilty because about the property with the violation.
Okay, we'll come back to you so you can explain to us further. We'll let the city present its case. So you're saying not guilty, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Inspector, good afternoon.
𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐲 on Code Compliance North. There's a gentleman that went to the commissioner's office. He lived in the property. He said there's a lot of work that's going on, the property without permit. So he took me there, and then he gave me access. I took pictures of everything, the bathroom, kitchen, everything was done, and then they were in process. The construction was in process, so.
All right, but he pled not guilty, so let's put all that, because you did a great job on this file. Make sure we put everything on the record. Did you issue a citation to the property at 95 Northeast 70th Street?
Yes,
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
yes,
And what's been marked as Exhibit A are those the photographs that you obtained of the violations, the work going on the property, and the debris on the outside?
correct,
Okay, and what's been marked as Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
correct,
Okay, and Exhibit C are the records of the summonses and notices required by Florida law, correct?
correct,
Okay, and you cited the property owner for having parking and storage of inoperable or untagged vehicles, correct?
correct.
Is that violation still exists?
No, it's been removed.
Okay. You also cited the property owner for failure to maintain the exterior of the residential property.
Yes, it was for those trash, everything that was on the side of the property.
So is it still in violation?
Part of them have been removed, but most of them still there because
Still
it's
there?
done.
Okay. And then you also cited him for work without a permit.
Correct.
And you've already testified that those violations continue to exist.
Still exists.
And then the last one, you cited him for outside storage of miscellaneous materials and equipment and debris.
It was a bunch of stuff, like construction stuff that he has outside.
Okay, and is that part of it? Is that
Yeah,
adjacent to
yeah,
the
those
city
are-
sidewalk?
Yeah, no, it's in the side of the house.
The side of the house. Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
And we're requesting a guilty finding. Inspector, did the gentleman meet with you before the hearing?
Now, he called me last week and he told me that he pulled permit. But when I check in the system, he has pulled permit, but he only pulled permit for windows and doors. He didn't pull permit for the work that I set him for. And I told him that the permit that he put has nothing to do with my violations. So
Okay. And did you explain to him what violations?
yes, he knows I explained it to him.
Okay. So at this time, what is your recommendation as to time?
120 days.
So we're requesting a guilty finding, 120 days to come into compliance. And even though it is owned by a corporation, it does have a homestead exemption. Sir, who lives on the property?
My daughter, my son.
Okay.
250.
Oh, you don't live there, you're the owner?
Yeah, I'm the owner.
And he doesn't live there? And he's
250.
claiming homestead exemption?
Okay, so we're requesting 120 days, $250 thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Okay, sir, would you like to say anything regarding?
No.
No? Okay, do I have a motion?
I have a motion for 90 days because this is a lot of trash that he's dealing with for the neighbors or having to look at. It's obviously completely unmaintained, considering he's not living there as a whole, and the maximum fine thereafter.
Okay, do I have a second?
doesn't matter. We tell them that in the
Motion dies. Do I have a new motion?
Motion for 120 days, $250 per diem.
Do I have a second? Motion.
I'll second it.
You'll second it? All in favor? Is there any other further discussions? No? All in favor? I have a first, I have a second.
Aye.
Aye. You have 120 days.
Thank you.
Please stay in communication with the inspector. Thank you.
Calling
Next
page number 121, address 1077 Northwest 40th Street, case number 000-49178, address 1077 Northwest 40th Street, page 121, to be heard. Code check agenda.
Good evening. Please state your name and address.
Heber Miguel, 1077 Northwest 40th Street, Miami, Florida, 33127.
Mr. Miguel, guilty or not guilty?
Excuse me?
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty with an explanation.
Thank you. We'll come back to you.
Inspector, please state your name and give the board a brief synopsis.
Yes, Inspector Point du Jour, Code Compliance, North Office, City of Miami. Oh, the property was cited, they were caught in the process of building a fence without permit. At first, it was a wood fence. After I advised the owner that it's not gonna get approved with the city, they switched it to metal fence, but still there's no permit on file for that beautiful fence.
Okay. And how much time are you recommending?
90 days.
Okay, and this is not a homestead property.
You live in the property, sir, don't you?
Yes, yes, I do.
Thank you.
He does? Okay. So we're requesting guilty. You said 90 days?
90 days, yes.
90 days and $150 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Do I have a motion?
I'll move that.
Second.
Second. Sir, would you like to say anything?
Yes, I tried to resolve the issue with the contractor. He promised me that he would get it resolved. I got the paperwork. When I got the notice, I called the city and I asked what was the process, and they said no one had filed anything. I called them and I asked them for his license number, for his general contractor license number. He didn't have one.
There you go.
At that point, I realized he lied to me, so that's why I'm going to look for another contractor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have any motion first? Second?
Yeah, we moved in second.
We already moved in second.
All in favor? Aye. You have 90 days.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please keep in touch with your inspector.
Calling page 137, address 1726 Northwest 51st Street, case number 000-45584. Page 137, address 1726 Northwest 51st Street.
What page, Melanie?
Page 137.
Good evening. Please state your name and address.
Good afternoon. My name is Samuel Pace. The address is 1726 Northwest 51st Street.
Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty with the explanation.
Thank you. We'll let the city present its case. Good afternoon, Inspector.
Inspector Point du Jour, Code Compliance, North Office. The property was cited for vacant, blighted, unsafe. It's a duplex. Unfortunately, there's people living in the back unit, but the front unit is an eyesore that needs to be either demolished or fixed as soon as possible because it's really unsafe.
Oh, yeah. Has unsafe structures been out there, or have you recommended this?
I believe they have a case open up.
So it's a vacant, blighted. Has the property owner done anything to secure the property?
As you can see, that recent pictures, I got recent pictures the same. The owner, I spoke to him once. He told me he's trying to get a permit, but at this point, I don't know where exactly it is in terms of permit. But the property the condition is the same. The roof is collapsing. It's really unsafe.
Yeah. And you cited him and posted April 24th of 2023.
Yes.
So you've given him almost a year to move forward. Has there been any movement forward with trying to bring the property into compliance?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay, so at this time, we're requesting a guilty finding, 30 days to come into compliance, and I do not believe anybody can live there, and we are requesting $150 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Madam Chair, through the chair, I had a question.
Go ahead.
Oh,
I was just going to ask him. Go ahead.
No,
No,
go
go ahead. Go ahead.
sir, I see that you came into compliance for 3 of the violations, maybe a week or so afterwards.
Right. I did. I'm attempting to come in compliance with all of them. I've vetted some contractors, and that process takes some time. I went through like 3 or 4 different contractors, and they didn't want to take the job on. But I eventually found one. I have had the property surveyed. I've gotten plans with the city. If you want the process number with the city, like someone came up here earlier and said that the city takes forever. So it's not my fault. I've done what I've needed to do with getting contractors and trying to get the permits. I have a whole entire new plan for the house.
Gotcha.
So all I can do is wait.
And sir,
I know, but
my,
it looks
and my
like-
other question.
Has he applied?
The other question.
I'm looking at it.
My other question was that currently no one has access to the property, meaning the doors are secured, the
Yes.
windows still has the bars and stuff like on
It's
it.
secure.
So you
And
can't get into the
I
property.
also registered the property with for vacant property or something like that. I
Yeah,
did
yeah,
everything
I see it,
that
I
I
see it.
necessarily needed to do.
I got you. And you do have a process number with, are you in the process of filing for permits to?
I have a processing number with the city at the moment.
You filed in January of this year, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you were cited in April of last year.
Like I said, I started vetting contractors immediately after I received that in April.
Yeah, I would say in his defense, from what I'm looking at, he did immediately clear up the outside storage, register the property, deal with the exterior stuff, and I understand there's a process of going
And I
through
put
general
up no
contractors.
trespassing signs and everything.
Correct.
that I could
I
do.
understand. Yeah, I can see
So
it.
the property is empty?
Yes.
Great,
And boarded up,
yes.
or the doors locked, in other words.
Yes.
Can't get out.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question for building. So it looks like from the permit number, from the process number, that it's just for minor repairs. This looks pretty major. I just want to make sure can you just can we look back at the permits to see?
No, it says.
The permits,
The
can I speak?
before.
The permit,
Just one
They're in
second.
review.
It's in review.
So I see building master not pulled, electrical, no work items.
Yeah, he's on review. He hasn't even passed any of those things yet.
He's just in review.
And he hasn't applied for a roof permit? Nothing.
Right.
He's just in
Nothing
review.
that is major work. He's applied for permits for minor.
Windows, doors, he applied.
Yeah, but what about the roof?
There's no roof permit.
Going to unsafe structure.
Yeah.
Minor, no roof.
It's-
The roof was old.
I have an entire new plan.
Right.
The house is gonna be redone over completely. That's what I'm getting the permits for. If you want the processing numbers, I have one from the city and from the county.
Yeah, you may need to.
Okay.
The county has nothing to
The
do with
county has no input in here.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it would be Durham, but you can't get Durham.
So I have a question
Until you open an application here.
regarding the county. You've applied with the county as well?
Yes,
Who told you to do that?
the contractors did that.
No.
This is a total redo-over.
Who's your contractor?
Form ready?
Form ready?
Yes.
It would be on the permit here in the information, if he has a contractor. There's no-
Well, the master building permit has not been pulled.
Correct.
Yeah.
So all we're doing is cutting, doing stuff around.
We understand
BK
that.
Burns Inc., doing business as Form
It seems
Ready.
like he's doing something. He's not just sitting idle. He's doing
Exactly.
something. But there's a process, and I get it. If you're trying to vet people who may not be legit, you're going through that process. I can understand that much,
Yeah, but there's no roof permit.
No,
So
we
we need
understand.
to
How
understand
much
that
time
as
do
well.
you need to get the roof permit and
Correct.
everything that you're
I
doing?
think within the next 30 to 90 days, I'll have all of the permits, and I'll be able to show you guys that I'm working towards trying to fix the problem.
Okay.
Madam Attorney?
You recommended 30 days,
I
right? The
think
city?
I did. I recommended,
150.
and 150.
Sir, how much time would you need?
60 to 90 days.
Okay. Board, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion for 90 days, 150 thereafter, only because our city is super slow.
Thank you.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, any
Appreciate
further
you guys' time.
discussions? I'm sorry, sir?
I appreciate your time.
Not a problem. I have a first, I have a second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. You have 90 days.
Thank you.
Please speak to your inspector, because if you need to ask for a further extension,
Yeah.
you need to do it
Yeah,
before
you
the
got his number?
91st day.
I have
Thank
to go
you.
soon, but you have a quorum. But
Next
hopefully
speaker.
we can get the people.
Hello, board. I have, and director, I have one to be heard that's going to be in absentia. The property owner, the person here doesn't have a power of attorney.
Okay.
Should we hear it now, or you want to do it after the mitigations?
rather do it after.
Have all the to be heards been heard?
Yes, except for this one.
Well, let's hear this one.
Okay.
Let's hear for this.
So
Can we deal with
calling,
the people that are here? Because I'd love to deal with the people that are here.
Yeah, well, the person's here, but they're not allowed to speak.
Yeah, but.
So the person has
Calling-
been here.
It's here.
calling page 22. This is a to be heard, address 5959 Northwest 7th Street, case number 000-77678. Page 22, address 5959 Northwest 7th Street. To
Okay,
be heard.
sir, this is how it works, okay? The chair will invite you to provide your name and address, and then she's going to turn to us because you don't have authority to represent anyone today.
Correct.
Right.
Good
It's a courtesy that we're giving you for being here and allowing you
No,
to
thank
speak. Not a problem. Please state your name and address.
Sure. My name's Matthew Gunling. Address is 5959 Northwest 7th Street.
And what are you to the owner?
I am I guess I would be the responsible party.
Okay, thank you. We'll let the city present its case. You guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
No, no,
Or
no,
guilty with explanation.
Not an option.
No, when he's abstention, no,
No, he's abstention.
sorry, take that back.
Yeah.
Not supposed to ask you.
Inspector, state your name and official position.
Maria Saint, Compliance, Southwest Office.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 5959 Northwest 7th Street?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did you provide me with your records in this matter?
Yes,
All right, and I have your complete file, correct?
correct.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs of the violations as well as your research and notes, correct?
Correct.
And Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Correct.
And Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law.
Yes.
Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Thank you. And you cited them for failure to maintain a lot in a safe, clean condition, not allowing accumulation of debris, trash, or dense growth of grass.
Yes.
And have they complied that violation?
Almost. They start the process to clean the property, to
But
cut
they
the
have
grass.
not-
They need more time.
Okay, and they failed to register a vacant structure, correct?
The application has been submitted.
Okay, and you, from what I can tell, you cited the property in January of this year?
Yes.
Okay, so that was more than sufficient time to clean the property?
Yeah, they have some issues with the vendors, I guess, but the property is almost done.
Okay, so do you have a recommendation as to how much time?
20 days? Less?
We make him 30 days.
30 days. Okay, guilty, 30 days to come into compliance, and this
$500 per day for every day. It's commercial.
$500 a day thereafter.
Do I have a motion?
I'll second. Motion, I assume, is the recommendation.
Yeah,
Right.
recommendation.
Any further discussions? All in favor? Aye. You have 30 days.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Next case?
Okay. Extension of time cases. This one is in a code check. It is page 194, address 5931 Southwest 7th Street, case number 000-48471. Address 5931 Southwest 7th Street, page 194.
Hi, how are you? Can you please state your name and address?
Alfonso Garces, 5931 Southwest 7th Street.
How much time are you requesting?
If it could be 6 months, because I already have the plan submitted to the city, but I got 58 comments.
Okay, that you need to respond.
So I have the architect, and this I submitted on November or October I think, and they responded December, January, and now I'm working with the architect because it's a plumbing building.
But you remodeled the entire property without a single permit,
No,
right?
he didn't.
No, I didn't.
He bought the property like that.
I bought the property and
He's been working on it.
I found out, I bought it on December 2022 and I found out on May 2023 about the violations, and after that we're finding an architect.
Right, you're trying to correct the violations that
Yes,
the previous.
but what I see is that the city takes a long time.
Yes, they do.
So
Okay.
I really don't know how much it's gonna take.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while. What does the city recommend?
I have no, so I'm being told that there's also a legal issue that he had with the previous owner, for the record?
What legal issue?
No.
With the previous owner, with the previous owner.
Yeah.
You're
of
suing the
course.
previous owner?
Of course, I have a lawyer. I sent him. I sent her. She sued her, but like, I'm not negotiating yet because I don't know how much is it gonna cost.
Right, okay.
So
But you do
I'm waiting
have a lawsuit in place?
Yes.
Suing the previous owner for selling the property to you under these conditions, not letting you
Without
know?
advice.
that-
In fact, it had the violation before the purchase, and she didn't disclose it on
Okay,
the moment of the purchase.
okay.
So city has no objection to recommending 180
Do I have a
days.
motion for 180
Move
days?
for 100
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
How many days?
180.
Thank you very much.
Keep in
Thank
touch with
you.
the inspector, please. Thank you.
In touch with her, yes.
Thank you. Good luck.
We're now in code check. This is extension of time in City View, I apologize. Page 11, the address is 2247 Northwest 17th Avenue, case number CE 2020-004-965. This is page 11 in City View. Address is 2247 Northwest 17th Avenue. Extension of time, City View.
Hi.
Hi, good afternoon.
Your name, please, and address?
Marilyn Cordovi, 2247 Northwest 17th Avenue.
How much time do you need?
I would like to ask for 90 days. We're almost done. I know it's been a while, but Inspector Lezama, I've been in contact with him. I actually had an inspection with him on Monday that went well. There's 4 items left that he's asking us to put on drawings, which we're getting the turnaround. So if you guys could give us whatever he recommends, per se. I've been with him now for the past 2 years trying to take care of it, so.
Not a problem.
We're
What is the
almost
city
there.
recommending? She's recommending, she wants 90 days.
I know she does, and we want her to be, look, I am not going to make a recommendation. We have 8 extensions of time, so use your judgment.
March 4th of 2021.
I would love for them to cross the finish line.
Yes, but
Given-
where do they stand in the city as far as the permitting is concerned? Because she said that they're almost done.
She's almost done. So
I'll move for 60 days.
give her more, 90 days.
Okay, I'll move for 90 days.
Do I have a
I
second?
want her back.
Okay,
Second.
do I have any further questions or discussion? I have a first, I have a second, all in favor? Aye. You have 90 days, thank you. Next case?
Okay, go back to code check,
I'm gonna-
extension of time, page 171, 4995 West Flagler Street, case number 000-51395, address 4995 West Flagler Street, page 171, this is in code check, extension of time.
Good evening, please state your name and address.
Roberto Díaz, 4995 West Flagler Street.
How much time does he need?
90 días.
Okay, how much is the city recommending?
This is a CUBTR issue.
Certificate of, hotel failing to provide annual human trafficking training, they comply
So
with
the
that?
hotel motel human trafficking issue has been complied.
Yes,
So that's awesome. But the problem is the CU and the BTR.
the CU? What is the problem with
So
this?
zoning is waiting for Durham. Is that,
Oof, that's gonna take a long time. When did they apply?
this goes back to,
July, well, they were cited.
March.
In
July
June.
15, 2023.
Yep.
They were given a guilty, 60 days to comply, $500 a day, and here we are.
Well, we don't
Are
have
they
that,
even-
we
are
don't
they
have that
even
information in our packet, that they've been here before.
No, but how
Our
are
packet shows that they're here the first time.
when they only got 60 days?
Maybe because of no quorum, I don't know.
All right.
Give 'em-
What is the city recommending? Director?
I mean, again, it's in a catch-22. 60 days. 60 days. I want these to be complied and not come back.
But
Do
is
I have a
that-
motion?
Is that your final recommendation? or
That's
you
my
can-
recommendation.
I'll move for 60 days.
Do I have a second? All in favor? No.
No.
Doing roll call.
Roll call, please.
Calling member Christy Tasker.
Yes.
Calling member Martin Zilber.
Yes.
Thank you. Calling member Keon Williams.
No.
Okay. Calling Vice Chair John Kuhnel.
Yes.
Thank you. And calling Chair Yvonne Bayona.
No.
Okay. It passes 3-2.
Thanks. They have 90 days. No, 60 days. Sorry, 60 days.
Let them know 60 days, and next time, we're
We're
not
gonna
gonna
close it.
recommend, we're gonna close it, and I'm gonna go
And
do
shut you
a,
down.
and go with PD and close the business. This is it.
Yeah. And, Madam Chair.
Next case?
Now we're moving to mitigations. This one is in City View. The page number is page 9. The case number, the address is 601 Southwest 39th Avenue. Case number CE 2012-012-623. Address 601 Southwest 39th Avenue. This one is page 9. This is a mitigation in City View.
I'm sorry, can you say the page number again?
Page 9, it is at 3,528 days.
500?
3,528 days.
Okay.
Page 9, City View.
Page 9 in City View.
3,530 days.
Yeah, 3,528
So this
days.
property falls under the single-family
It does.
residential?
It does, 601 Southwest 39th Avenue.
Okay, before, remember, you rule, members, board members, we do not consider ruling zero. There's always expenses that we need to discuss and ask the code enforcement department.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take it under advisement.
Thank you.
Thank
again.
you so much.
May-
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How are you today? Can you please state your name and address?
Dave
Let-
Rabin. I live at 39.
Can you, I'm sorry.
Put the
There you
microphone
go.
closer to you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Sorry, my
Thank
name
you.
is Dave Rabin. I live at 3915 Southwest 5th Street, which is just around the corner from 601 Southwest 39th Avenue. May I proceed?
So I see that you have here a hefty fine of $529,200. And I don't know, but I see here also that you do qualify because this property was a single-family home.
Is.
Yes.
So we don't need to go through our
Matrix.
code compliance chart.
That's correct.
So
No.
what is there anything you'd like to say?
There is, and thank you
Okay.
for that opportunity. What I did is I handed out a little 3-page handout. The first page is the criteria for mitigation. I know you know that, but I just wanted to focus on the action by the violator to correct and the fact that I have no previous violations. I think what's helpful is the timeline, because you have to ask yourself, why is this house in violation for 3,528 days? That's rather extraordinary. So the timeline explains it. On November 1st, 2013, prior owners, Zelaya and Cruz, received a notice of violation. In March of 2014, there was a final administrative notice to the prior owners, Zelaya and Cruz. I understand that I stand in the shoes of the prior owners. Make no mistake about that. But this is mitigation, and I'm presenting my mitigation. In October of 2015, there was a final order of the unsafe structure panel. This was characterized as an unsafe structure that the owner shall fix, that would be Zelaya and Cruz at that time, within 90 days. If not, the city shall demolish as soon as possible. No work was done by the owners, no demolition took place by the city. That was, of the 3,528 days, that was 3,084 days. I became the owner of this property on April 13th, 2022. Within 61 days, I filed a notice of commencement and application for permit. It's the first remediation that was done after 3,084 days. 2 months later, in September of 2022, a permit was issued for the demolition of the unsafe structure. In August of 2023, a second permit was required because they said I needed a remodeling. Some indoor doors or now outdoor doors. And then in December of 2023, the final fees were paid. In January of 2024, the affidavit of compliance was issued by the city. And here I am tonight asking that you consider my actions to correct this as part of my mitigation and the fact that I have no previous violations.
So I have a recommendation. For the record, transparency, I have spoken with Mr. Rabin, and he, in his sheet, has reflected his due diligence. So I have so it is a hefty fine of $529,200. And so code recommends a mitigation of 98%. So let's charge 2%, which is $10,584.
Before the
I think
board,
if you ask the respondent,
Do I have
I'm sorry,
He
I
will be
just
very-
wanted to say on the board before you vote, I've not been provided a copy of what you have. I'm sure you don't need me to look at it, but before you vote, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'll move the city recommendation.
Director, what was the amount?
$10,584.
Right. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion?
With all,
I have a-
with all due fairness,
Yes.
you know.
Ask the respondent if he's okay with that.
First, yeah, let me ask that question. Are you okay with that?
Thank you for asking me that question.
Yes.
And if permission to speak freely, this gentleman with the city compliance, he was fantastic. He made himself available.
Yeah.
And I understand, I was at the February hearing. Ms. Hernandez makes it very clear that you stand in the shoes of the violator. I'm not the bad guy here. I took over for the bad guy. So I'm willing to accept whatever this board recommends, and I hope you give weight. And there's one more thing I wanted to say, if you could just give me a minute. I wanted you to know who I am and why I bought this property, because I think that bears some consideration as well. I'm a Miami native. I've lived here my whole life. I've never, ever had to appear in front of a board and respond to anything like this before. I raised 3 children. They're all adults. My 40-year-old son lives in Shenandoah, about 10 minutes from my house. He's the assistant athletic director at the University of Miami, and he is the father of my first 2 grandchildren. My third child, my daughter, lives at 51st North Miami Avenue. I've lassoed those 2 back to live in Miami after college, and she will be the parent of my 5th grandchild. My 3rd and 4th grandchild are my daughter Natalie, and she lives abroad for the last 15 years, and she told me in 2021, I'm coming back to Miami with my husband and my 2 kids. Her husband is not a U.S. citizen. I've been working very closely with Commissioner Salazar's, Congresswoman Salazar's office. There are some very complex immigration issues. I'm hoping to bring her back here as well, and in 2022, I bought this house with the idea that she would live in it with her husband and her 2 grandchildren. So to the extent you would consider all of that, I'm throwing myself on the mercy of this board, and thank you very much for listening. I've tried to do everything the right way from the day I became the owner.
Thank you. Well, I have a first. Do I have a second?
You do. You already have that.
No second? Motion dies.
No, well, all right. So we had a first and we had a second. But if
Oh, we had a
somebody
first and we had a
wants to
second?
make,
Who voted second?
but if somebody wants to change it based, I'm fine.
I'm going to withdraw my second.
Okay, so.
And my understanding is that the director met with the property owner before and said he was going to request $20,000, and the property owner was okay with that, and now he's throwing himself at your mercy. So I'm a little confused. I think he should pay 50% of the entire fund.
And the assistant city attorney was going to take 50%. So, 2% is
So
very
if we didn't like the
reasonable.
2%, we're looking to do more? or
No,
do
but I
less?
also have a question, because this timeline says a certain
2% is
date.
10,000, by the way. It's not
This
20,000.
timeline
I'm
says
confused.
November 1st.
10,584.
Right.
I reduced it even further.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood what we were talking about.
If I may, this timeline says November 1st, 2013, that's when Celaya and Cruz got the violation, but our initial inspection on our booklet says 7/18/2012. So it's like a year before almost. So when did the violation get presented? Was it 11/1 or was it July 18, 2012?
So we're going to go,
Because
let's put that on the record. Let's put your question. Go back
Again,
to-
I'm going to make a motion for the city recommendation. If no one seconds, or let's have discussion.
I have
I'm
a
not sure
couple-
if you want more or less. I wasn't sure what the.
Can we
board-
ask him a couple questions first that may affect our
decision
motion? First of all, did you know the past owners?
No.
Okay, you didn't know them. Okay, so that gets that out of the way. When it comes to the violations, were you aware before you purchased the property?
Yes.
Okay. So you knew the violations
Yeah.
existed at least?
The lawyer tells you there's a lien on the
received
property, and
July
then I got the
12th, 18.
paperwork. This is a little bit
Okay.
more than a lien. This was a final administrative order. But yes, I'm
Okay.
responsible for
Okay.
knowing that.
Excuse me, so the violation is correct. It was in July of 2012. That's what it says here. I just looked at it before, if you go,
July
July
16th,
18, 2012.
2013.
No, I have in our booklets, July 18, 2012.
I don't know where you're reading from, Madam Chair.
Well,
I'm reading
I know. but
I'm
I
reading from the NOV.
I know, but when you opened it up, if you go on the screen before, it says that date.
Go back to the previous screen.
I looked at it. Now, you see here, received, July 18, 2012.
That's
Service date, January 16,
service date. So,
2013.
so remember, we're dealing with a archaic, older.
No, I'm just asking a question.
I
First
understand.
inspection, July 18, 2012.
I understand.
So what is it? That's my question to you.
So go to the violation screen. I'm going to go on the record. I'm going to go on the record violation that according to, see, is a very, no, you're not going to be able to do that. Do me a favor, go down, trigger yes, and I'll go open and go to violation. It's a very fickle system. And according to that process, it shows violation date. Is it January or June? January 16, 2013. That's what it says there. So I can only advise of what I'm looking at City View.
January.
I still stand by my
Are the
recommendation.
violations cleared? Are all the violations cleared? He just
Yes.
was just about.
In order for any respondent to be here,
Yeah,
you must have an affidavit of compliance. So the violations have been cleared.
have been cleared.
Yep.
Okay.
Madam Attorney, you said that there was already discussions regarding 20,000, correct?
With the director, yes.
Okay. and
I wasn't there.
Is there a motion pending?
No.
I had made
There was a motion
I had
pending
made a
for
motion for the
10,000.
10,000, for the 2%. That was my motion. Again, I don't know if the
10,000,
board wanted
whatever.
more or less. I wasn't sure what the concerns were.
10,584.
I would make a motion for 10,000.
It was 10,000 what?
10,584.
84.
After hearing the discussion, I'm going to second that motion.
For 10,000?
Yes.
Okay.
So not-
we have a first, we
not
have a
my
second.
50%, huh?
That's okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10,000.
No.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good luck.
Wait, don't leave. It's
Don't
10,
leave.
I just want to be clear because then I don't have additional copies. It was
10,000.
10,580.
No,
The motion is 10,000 flat.
Okay.
That's okay.
Made it nice and even.
And Madam Chair, for the record, my vote was
Mr. Raby,
no.
stay
Just for
because
the record.
you won that order.
I wanted
Next
to
case.
know on that one.
Calling, this is mitigation. This is in code check. This is page number, it's a special item, so it's on the back of your little code check things here. This is address 1922 Southwest 24th Street. The case number 000-25140. There's also a second mitigation, also 1922 Southwest 24th Street. This case number is 000-30315. These are in the back of your little booklet here. These are city attorney special items.
Melanie, apologies. Page,
They're the special items at the bottom of the agenda.
okay?
It's special item 1 and 2, city
Special
attorney
i-
items.
Still a lot of people
item.
here. Did we call
Mr.
them all?
Moscoso. Okay, fair enough.
What
job.
page? I'm
What's
sorry?
what's the page number at the bottom?
Page number?
There's no.
Page
What's,
number.
what's the address?
It's 1922 Southwest 24th Street.
256, page
They're in the
256.
back of this little thing I gave you. These are special attorney items. They're not in the booklet thing here. They're in the back of this.
Confusing.
But have we called all the people in the audience or no?
Here we go.
We're
Don't
on
think
this
so.
now. It's a mitigation.
Good evening.
By the way, just for the record, I don't mind waiting. I'm happy to.
Good evening, Mr. Moscoso. Please state your name and address.
Good evening, David Moscoso, 2525 Ponce de Leon Boulevard, Coral Gables, Florida.
This is for mitigation?
Yes, correct.
How many days? Melanie?
I don't even have the file.
Hold on.
It's fine.
How many days, Melanie?
140. The second case, 30315, is at 13 days.
Okay, I'm sorry, and what page number were they, or they were just?
Page 256 on
These
that
are the
little-
cases you wanted added on, so these are city
Right,
attorney-
this is a pro bono client
They're
that
not
he
in the
has.
booklet, they were after the printing.
Okay.
So you have a $35,000. You would fall under 30%. Was this a single-family home, or does this qualify for any of that?
It's actually under one of the exceptions.
It is?
One.
Oh, yeah, because it's T3R.
Yeah,
It's
no,
residential.
and it's a non-homestead property, so it falls under one of the.
But it's single family?
Correct. Yeah.
Make that, because I saw your face. I was like, oh, what? No. All right, so it's
Does the
single
city have a
family.
recommendation on this one?
So hold on, let me do
I
the math.
defer to the board. This was just an issue involving a guardianship, so I advise council to come forward and present his request.
Yeah, I would just ask that you take into account that, the nature of this mitigation is really to work in good faith and, move past the issue.
What are you asking for?
Whatever the city's costs are,
Do we know the city's cost?
I just,
Robert, do you know your cost?
I recall that when we started the mitigation today, we said in lieu of zero, we should take into account what the city's
This
costs
is
are.
this is a guardianship.
No, this is not a guardianship.
Oh, it's not a guardianship?
No.
Okay. So what is the city recommending?
Hold on. Are those the accurate amounts? 65,000 accrued with 15,000 irreparable? Yes?
Well, I only have 35.
Is that accurate?
That's the second case, correct?
Okay,
256.
140.
right.
25140.
so I can't give you a recommendation unless I look at the fine, so hold on.
25140.
251, is that accurate?
Yes.
35,000?
This one is at 35 days,
This is at 35.
and it's 35.
And this is 35 days.
Correct.
And your request is based on?
Yes.
So what I really wanted to communicate to you all is this particular case for me, and the only reason I'm actually even up here is because I think the previous property owner did the right thing, and they sold the property, and they sold it to a family that's actually living there. So it was a commercial enterprise. They got out of it, and what this actually was a property owner who came in, tried to do Airbnb, was quickly found out that this is not favored at the city of Miami, and sold the property to a now current homestead property owner. So I think as a matter of policy.
And they bought it with the lien?
Excuse me?
No, and they bought it with the lien?
The current property owner, correct.
Okay, which is homesteaded, right?
Yes, it's homesteaded, correct, yeah. And so the folks that bought it are actually living on the property. As a matter of policy, I think that we should encourage folks who come into this town thinking they can do Airbnb, find out this is not the city for this, and dispossess themselves of those properties rather than try to hide and be slick and do something else. They sold it to a homestead residence. So I would ask the city to take that into account. That being said, I do think that we still need to, acknowledge the fact that there was an Airbnb. There is some harm done to the community when those things happen, and so I would ask that the board consider what is normally considered. It's just somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 as a fine.
What is the city recommending?
So I do have a recommendation. Give me a second, because I am going to. Yeah, no, I. So from 35, and by the way, admirable presentation, understanding that we do want to encourage families, et cetera, et cetera. So the city's recommendation is a reduction from the 35,000 to 10,000.
I'll move for the 10,000.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussions? I have a first, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 The next case is case number 000-30315. This one is at 13 days, also has an irreparable harm fine of $15,000.
What page?
This is the second case.
259?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, here we go. We have another one for 65,000, and this is what, 15 days, right?
Right, but our
13 days.
position.
But this is the same matter. It's a residential.
It's the same. It's actually the same property. It's the same.
Oh, it's the same property.
It's the same property.
And our position is that once the board has found that an irreparable harm fine is appropriate, that not be removed in any way.
Correct.
And that has to, at a minimum, be paid I defer to code compliance as to any other.
So the recommendation, you're gonna like this one. This is on the fly. You and I have not spoken about this at all. So the 15,000 irreparable remains, and that 65,000 is reduced to 5,000. So collectively 20.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I have a first, I have a second. All in favor? Aye.
And I just want to thank you all, as well as staff, for the favorable consideration of the fact that, you know, these folks did do the right thing and dispossessed themselves of the interest. Thank you all. Have a great evening.
Have a good night.
Calling City View.
Wait. I need to sign the order.
Yeah, you on that
I
order,
don't have
Mr.
to? Okay,
Moscoso.
good. Next case, please.
Calling page, this is in City View, page 7. The case number is CE 2021-003673, address 191 Northwest 50th Street, page 7.
Is this also a mitigation, correct?
This is a mitigation, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. How
City
many
View
days?
agenda.
Sir.
How many days?
That's all right.
I'm sorry. This one is 356 days.
356 days. Sir,
And this
you
is-
need to be on this side. Thank you.
This is page 7, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Page 7 on the front of the booklet. Good evening. Can you please state your name and address?
Good evening, Arnaldo Velez. My professional address is 35 Elmira Avenue, Coral Gables, Florida. And I am here today on behalf of the entity that bears the name of WDD 5001 Northwest 2nd Avenue, LLC. The property in question is property that I consider to be in the Buena Vista area. It's near one of the schools up there, which was on 2nd Avenue. And I'm here today, I'm thinking what to say, and I think the phrase that comes to mind, I think, is one that Judge Silver would understand, and I apologize if the others don't say. I'm here today with my hat in hand. The matter arises from a procedural snafu which occurred when there was a merger of titles, a unity of title created, and that somehow affected or impacted upon 2 demolition permits that had been applied for, that were obtained, that were complied with, and eventually resolved, but somehow this other one was out there, and because of the unity of title, internally, the city didn't know how to handle it and just kept on being open and open and open and open. And somehow continues to remain open when in fact it was closed out when the 2 permits for the 2 lots, by the way, these do qualify, the residential lots under your ordinance, for a reduction outside the tables. I spoke with the director. I have also pointed the matter out to council. I believe there was a recommendation offered, and I said, fine. As I said, I'm here with hat in hand. Don't bring me down to 0, which is what I really want. But there was a number suggested of 5.
Not anymore.
recommendation?
We don't do
5,000.
zeros anymore.
5,000.
This was
So-
a residential property, right?
I-
Before?
Yes, it is. And I did speak with counsel for the respondent, and in our discussion, I offered that I would recommend a 94% reduction from the 89,000 to 5,000.
Do I have a motion for 5,000?
Motion for 5,000.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. $5,000 it is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Do I now address?
Yes, you go to Ms. Fincher's,
May
and
I?
we will bring the signed order to you. You have 20 days to pay.
May I defer to leave that to one of the members of the company? I have, with all respect, my mother-in-law's birthday, and I'm late, and I know I will get hell if I don't arrive.
Make sure that they stand
All right.
here so they can get the proper
Thank you.
documentation.
Good evening.
Happy birthday to your mother. Have a good night.
My mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law, sorry, mother-in-law.
So you don't mind being late? I'm kidding. Let's go. I got to go soon anyway. So let's go.
How old was the mother-in-law?
Anyone else?
Next case. Oh, sorry.
Because I'll flip when you guys go to 0.
City View agenda, calling page number 3, address 1901 Northwest 22nd Avenue, case number CE 2020-019537, page 3, City View agenda. This is another mitigation. This one is 791 days old.
Is this his case? It's fine. Just hand them both to me. Go up to this thing. I'll take care of it, okay?
Hi. Okay.
1901 Northwest 22nd Avenue.
Do you want him to state his name? No?
So, 1901 Northwest 22nd Avenue. What does GIS say about this address?
I was going to wait a few more, but if we're going to take a break now, I'm going to leave now. Are we not going forward now? We are going forward. Okay, then let's grab it.
Next case. Hi, sorry. I was looking down. Good evening. Please state your name and address.
Yeah, my name is 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐲 Machado from Spirit Property Group, and the address is 1901 Northwest 22nd Avenue.
Perfect. Mr. Machado, let's see here. What page is it? I'm sorry, because I was signing orders. Page 3. So your total is 197,750, and let me see. It used to be your property is a residential T4R.
Yeah, I came here for
So
the
you-
mitigation, but for whatever reason, you appear like a commercial, so I had to go.
No, it's T4R, which is fine. It's
Okay.
still residential.
Yeah, so
The city, how much they're recommending here?
So I think I need legal's input. I understand with all respect to the respondent. The section of the code, and I'm doing this, so I apologize. I should have it memorized. It's 2817, and it talks about single family, duplex, and vacant lots that were previously single family. And this is a T4. And I believe that under the land use code, vacant, non-protected, I'm looking at the zoning.
We just ruled on a T4. We just ruled on a T4. The previous mitigation was a T4.
Okay, then proceed.
So this will apply the same.
Page.
He had a presentation. I didn't look.
Yeah, but he
You
still
have it.
falls, it's T4, the previous.
and it was a single family home. You will see it.
Northwest 22nd Avenue. 1901 Northwest 22nd Avenue.
What are you asking for?
How much?
Well, let's see what the city recommends, because he has, how many days?
Okay, so the,
197,000.
125?
No, I'm looking at the
Oh.
amount accrued, 197,750.
750.
Well, I mean, if it's.
You know, a 95% reduction puts it at 9,887 with 50 cents. So
10,000?
10,000.
Our recommendation is 10,000.
Do I have a motion?
Can we give the gentleman time to?
I know, but I was going to ask if. we
I'll
had
make a motion for 10,000.
And then we'll ask him.
I'll second.
Okay, sir, do you have any, are you okay with $10,000? Or,
Okay, no, ma'am. I'm leading. I have like another project trying to finish that. It's just me. It's not a company, right? And the other one is taking more than, I have 97% completed of that property. And the other one I can't even finish, and I'm just waiting for that one to get this one. So this is just a vacant lot, and we did everything we could, but we didn't get the initial. That was like the main thing. It's been.
I haven't been able to read his,
It's like you're building an apartment building.
Use it further.
you're building an apartment building?
Are you building an
Affordable
apartment
housing?
building there? I don't understand.
It's a duplex.
A duplex.
Like the project.
Two
you mean?
affordable housing certification projects, that's what you're
Yeah,
building?
we got it. Yeah, for a duplex. So
Two
we
on one lot, or you're building?
No, that's one lot, and
But it's
we've
gonna
got
be
like
two.
another one that is being forever trying to get it done, to get the approvals. I've been dealing with
the-
months only for the water thing.
So just for clarity, you've built on one lot, but you've got the other lots that you're going to be building on.
It's one and one, so two.
One and one.
Okay.
So the other one is taking forever to
build.
The property is ready.
Yeah,
It's just about permits and stuff. This is,
So you're waiting on permits. That's
and as
Okay,
soon as
but
it's
these
done-
violations were since 2004.
yeah. Why didn't
And
you
you're
wait?
upset that you're waiting on the city?
No, violation? No. 2004?
Yeah.
The reason you're here is for.
the letter of the demolition.
No, that was on the microfilm,
Yeah.
so I can prove that it was a single family. No,
Right.
This thing is 2021.
One-story frame structure. That's what it was. It was a single
No,
family.
that was like the old stuff. When they
No, I
demolished
get it.
Through the chair, sir, you said you got these lots through the affordable, the infill program?
I've got what, sorry?
How did you acquire the lots here? Was this a part of the affordable housing program?
No, we bought the land.
So, but this is not a part of the affordable housing program, is it? No?
I think
we
I think to
applied.
maximize the density, he was
Or-
doing it under the affordable housing.
For our
We were
project,
doing-
we developed and then we got the certification so we can build something to be like an affordable housing program.
Understood.
And the other one was the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. My understanding, and I'm reading from your documents, the Unsafe Structures Board issued you a final repair or demolish, or your predecessor, to the property.
No, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Those documents, just let me explain. Those documents are, but that's 2004 when they demolished. That's nothing to do with this
But
thing.
I'm just reading
The
from
documents-
your documents. You
the
gave
documents are
us these
confusing.
documents.
That's the microfilm. That's like the story of the property.
He's saying.
Yeah, he didn't get fined to 2020.
He said he's submitting
I
those
understand,
documents.
but he gave us these documents, and now he's saying, no.
No,
and-
all I'm saying is that
It's the
it was demolished in 2004.
Right.
That was like 17 years before we bought it. That's what I'm saying. 17 years before we bought it. This problem was, it started in 2021,
Correct.
I believe.
Yeah, so you're saying when you got it, property.
Vacant lot.
And
Residential
you're
vacant
showing
lot.
a microfilm to show that it was a residential to qualify for the mitigation.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
That's why I had to go and
Understood.
find that information.
Okay.
And the pictures that you put, have you built or are you in the
No, he
process?
can't.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a.
So you
it's a-
those are just pictures of a rendition?
Those are rendition pictures, right?
Are you building on these lots?
Yeah, that's what
We're
You're
you're
gonna
building
build. You're gonna build on all
We
the
will
lots.
build.
It's in
Okay.
there.
Does
It's
someone
towards
on the
end.
board want to do anything different than the 10,000?
Yeah.
We'll say.
I have you went ahead
Motion
and
in second, so
What do you suggest?
What are you suggesting?
my motion will be for zero. That's just.
Okay, but in July 26th of 2023, the gentleman or somebody, I don't know when you owned it, came before this board. At the time, the board attorney said that the board was without jurisdiction. So something is not meshing here, and I can't put my finger on it.
So you all want to do less or you want to do more?
Let's do less if they can't even figure
Okay,
out what.
I'll amend to 2,500.
Well, it's
my
not
motion.
that.
I'll amend my motion to 2,500.
I wouldn't do 2,500
Can I
because
clarify?
this is a business
Can I clarify
and they
that?
bought their property for 265.
All right, well, let's just do something.
Yeah, I know, I agree, but not 2,500.
So
Can I clarify?
I'm withdrawing my motion. Someone else can make a new motion.
I have a motion for 2,500. Anybody wants to second it?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? No. For me.
Aye.
Aye.
Can I
You need to
clarify?
do a roll call. No, you don't want to
Roll
say
call,
anything.
hold on yet.
Hold on.
Calling member Christy Tasker.
Yes.
Thank you. Calling member Keon Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. Calling member Martin Zilber.
Yes.
Calling Vice Chair John Cornell.
Yes.
Okay, and calling Chair Yvonne Bayona.
No.
Passes 4-1.
And the amount was?
2,500. This is a business. It's not a
Okay.
I
residential.
don't even think he's happy,
It took, of course.
but that's okay.
Sir, I would pay that and
And
run.
so,
I mean, my attitude was he should
done.
pay
We
at
moved
least
to the-
100,000.
we moved
I
to
don't
the
know.
next
so members of the board, sir, just to make sure, the mitigation has a reverter clause. You have 21 days. If you don't pay within 21 days, it goes back to full amount. So you know.
20.
Okay.
I'm letting you know, right?
Next case?
letting you know. No, you.
Sorry,
You-
no.
It's $2,500. That's what the board, you have to pay within 21 days. If it's paid on the 22nd day, it goes back to the full amount.
I can.
Understood. I just want for clarity.
Can I pay tomorrow?
Sure, when she gives you the information.
Just go talk to them over there and they'll tell
Next
you what to
case,
do.
please.
All right?
We're in code
Thank you.
check.
Thank
This
you
is
very much.
mitigations for code check. This is page number 218. The address is 529 Northwest 42nd Street, case number 000-19687. Page 218, mitigation, address 529 Northwest 42nd Street.
Good evening. Please state your name and address.
Lawrence Latimer, 529.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry. If you could get closer to the microphone. Thank you.
Lawrence Latimer, 529 Northwest 42nd Street, 33127.
Perfect. How many days, Melanie? $48 days.
48 days.
Let's see. This is also a residential, T3? Does this qualify for the single-family home?
This is $12,000, $12,000.
So the adjudication originally, so you members of the board, was for illegal
short-term rental.
rentals.
With short-term rental?
Yes, ma'am.
This what this was?
That's the original violation.
Okay.
With the accruals. I just want to put that on the record.
I would recommend no mitigation.
Let me see what the accrued amount is.
12,000.
I make a motion for no mitigation.
Second.
All in favor? Yeah, go ahead.
Discussion.
What is the total fine? And
$12,000.
$12,000.
And when did they stop, or did they stop?
Yeah, they did stop. The only way that a respondent can come here
On
is by way,
6/22/23, and they stopped a year almost.
by way of an affidavit of compliance.
On 8/2/22, there was the initial inspection, and they complied on 6/22/23.
So,
But I assume they rented it for more than 12,000 with the time period that they were renting it?
Yes.
You already found.
You're fine with that?
Found them guilty.
So I have a first, I have a second, all in favor? Aye. $12,000. You can say something.
Yes, if we.
Well, we already voted.
We already voted.
We didn't have a chance to say anything.
No
We
one ever
didn't
gave
know that, no one gave us a chance to speak.
We should
Let's-
probably give them a chance.
Okay, well, do you want to revert back our voting?
Well,
The chair, this is your
Let's revert back our
duty
voting?
as chair.
Let's revert.
I will move to reconsider based on the fact we never heard.
Do I have a second motion to reconsider?
Second.
Okay. Sir, go ahead, sir, you can speak.
Appreciate it. So this is a.
Well, you're the owner, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the initial citation for short-term rental was on August 2nd, 2022. We have documents for a long-term renter that are there. We also,
What do you consider, excuse me, a long-term rental?
a year contract.
They were already found guilty. Are we retrying the case?
He said he wanted a chance to speak. I
To
don't
speak,
know
yeah, we're
what
letting
we're
him
doing.
speak.
I have no idea what we're doing. Why is it you didn't agree with what we did? What is it you want to tell the board?
Well, first of all, you need to state your name and
I
address.
am. So my name is George Zamora. I am the property manager for the subject property.
Are we
And
vacating?
I have some background information on here. So it is correct that on August 2nd, a violation was issued. Now, the reason why we found out the violation, it was posted on the property. The tenant on August 25th contacted our office and said, I vacated the property. I went there the same day and I found the notice posted on the mailbox. Never knew about it. So the very next day, the very first thing I did on August 26th is I emailed the inspector, and I have a copy of the email. I'd be happy to show everyone, telling the inspector that I found the violation, property was vacant, inviting him to come check out the property. It was vacant. And I also had a telephone conversation with Inspector Uriarte, telling him that the property is vacant. There was no one there. So you can't be in violation of short-term rental if the property is vacant.
No.
Well, okay.
So hold on. They're hearing you, but we are not hearing this case all over. The no vote. That's not happening.
But let me get to the dates because it is
But the dates
very.
don't matter. You're here for mitigation. So
Right.
the question is, why should we mitigate? We voted no. Why should we mitigate?
So the reason for mitigation is because the compliance date was 6/22/23.
Right, a year later.
God, David must.
Almost a year later.
Yeah, correct. And then we made attempts to contact the inspector to have, when we have evidence, and I know we're not rehearing the case, but we have evidence that we had a new family move in there. We had it on the multiple listing service as a vacant property. We had a new lease. Someone moved in October 24th, 2022. A new family moved in there. I don't think you're going to find any evidence that the property was on listed. We didn't even see it. The only thing we received was, in terms of evidence, is a listing that isn't even our own address. So this is why we're asking, this is why we're asking for administrative costs. We never rented this property. We had a long-term tenant. We made attempts to have the inspector come out to confirm what we had told you, and I would be more than happy to show what we have.
Are you reading what it says up there? It says here, they just took it out. Affidavit of compliance.
June.
It's dated June 22nd, 2023. I conducted an inspection of the property cited for violations of the above referenced case. The inspection and review applicable records indicate that the violations pertaining to this case were corrected on June 22nd, 23. So that means that's when he corrected this violation, correct, Director?
That is exactly what that means. And I'm looking at the advertisement. That's what I'm asking for now. Even
Airbnb.
We're not supposed to be hearing this case.
I know.
No, I know.
Just
But we're letting him speak.
It was advertised on
May I ask a
Airbnb.
question? But
It's,
the Airbnb that was listed is not my address.
Sir,
And is there any obligation that the inspector has to respond when you ask them to come back? Because this was done within 2 weeks.
No, it doesn't work that way. You, at this point, you can't ask them to come back now.
I'll move for 11,000. I'll give a 1,000 if someone wants to do it. A $1,000 mitigation.
Here we go. Airbnb, 526. That's Northwest 42nd Street. Is this a duplex?
Anybody second?
That's not the address, ma'am. That's not the address.
Nobody seconds. Can we have a motion? Can we move on?
We have a motion. We have a second.
Hold on one second.
No, I don't
His
think we
address
don't
is
have
529.
No, 526. It's probably, let's see here, hold on.
No, we're 529.
They're saying, that's what they're
The
saying.
address is 529 Northwest 42nd Street.
Yes, but the Airbnb listing says 526.
Yeah.
But they still had Airbnb, no? Wasn't it rented to Airbnb?
Where's the evidence for his property being rented on an Airbnb? This is not rocket science.
Second, hold on, because it could be two addresses in one. This is a T3.
Could be.
Let's see.
okay, so, no, and can you get up and explain? Okay.
Guys, what are we doing? Does anyone have a recommendation or a motion?
Well, the problem is
If
that
it's not his address, I'm going to make a motion for
529
0.
does not appear on the tax
Yeah.
roll.
Okay.
Inspector, can you clarify, please?
Yes.
Put your name on the record, go ahead.
Marcelo Lazarique, Central Office. I'm not the inspector for the case, but what happens with our current system is there was never an affidavit of non-compliance issued. It was only an affidavit of compliance. So what happens is as soon as the day that comes, whatever day it was, and they don't call out the inspector, it automatically, without any exception, starts to run the lien. So when he issued the affidavit of compliance, which is, I forgot what date, but that's when it
June
ran.
22nd, 23.
Yeah, that's when it accrued the lien. It's not that he was non-compliant. It's just that that's when the inspector put in the results. He never issued an affidavit of non-compliance.
526 does not exist
I don't know what that means.
as an address.
The property. That
Does not
property
exist,
address
that
does
Oh,
not
I'm
address.
sorry.
What we have on file for Airbnb doesn't.
Go.
There's no such property with 526. But what people do with Airbnbs is they put other addresses.
And they do, and
So,
they meet them outside.
they don't find them.
They meet them at
And
the
I'm
next
very
address.
common, that's a very common thing.
And then when the inspector went online and looked at the
Can we go to the other
photographs, it was
booking
the same house.
Can you also look at the other booking rentals? I think
No,
there's-
it's 529.
No, but there's two. There's one for
It's a
Airbnb and one
3-2.
for
Another
another.
one. Yeah,
Single-family home.
Does the folio match by chance?
Yeah, well, we've seen Airbnbs, what folks will typically do is they'll put one address and meet the folks
At another, yeah.
at another. It's
Yeah.
common. If you
And
know,
in
if you know it,
2022,
you
it
know
had
it.
no homestead
And we know
exemption.
it.
Can we look at the screenshots?
Nice try.
Yeah, do you have copies of the listing?
I don't know who's running this.
I'm sure it's in the file. Do we have copies of the Airbnb, the whole thing? Do you have it in the file?
We're looking for the advertisement.
Melanie, we have Airbnb, and then wasn't there another?
Liz, do you have an actual folder?
We have an actual folder.
Is
I'm
the
gonna turn it
Airbnb?
over.
Wait, can we look at the business search for the property?
The inspector is not here because it's a mitigation, and so if you're thinking of reopening the case and getting back into it, I would ask you, A, not to do it, but B, if you're going to do it, then I would ask you to do it at another meeting where the inspector can fully explain
I tend to think so.
I'm going to make a motion to defer.
Do I have a second?
To when
Fair enough.
the inspector is going to be here.
Right.
Do you have a date? Do you want to give us a date, or do we want to leave it?
So next available, but
Next.
you're deferring the mitigation here.
Yes.
Correct. We're deferring the mitigation.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Right. And Director,
We're going to defer your case for another meeting
Director.
until the inspector.
I need to
shows
go,
up.
but I
Yes,
need
sir.
our vice chair back, so we have a quorum.
Do we have a
You hear me?
date for this deferral?
We have a quorum.
No, I just want
Do we have a date for this
back. We have
deferral?
a quorum.
they're available next meeting.
To be determined, I need to see availability, I need to work with you, I need to
Okay,
see
thank you.
Uriarte's availability. So
I
that would be the
appreciate
next-
it.
My
So do
question,
I hand the file to you?
I have a question for the Director. Director,
Yes.
so we're deferring this. We're not opening this back up.
No,
It's
we're
just
deferring
that
the
would
case.
be-
defer the mitigation.
Well, they're making allegations about what the inspector did or did not do,
Mm-hmm.
and the inspector, rightfully so, should be here to
Correct,
defend
right.
himself.
Right,
you
and
know.
he's not.
But to your point, we're also not opening it back.
That is
up.
not an
So-
option before
And that's
you.
not an option,
We,
correct.
the case was adjudicated,
They had an
approved.
opportunity to be
But
here.
based on new evidence, we may choose to mitigate.
Well, but
we
you,
may not.
you cannot hear this
can't
case
do it.
de novo.
We can't do it.
No,
Only,
we can mitigate.
yes,
We can
you
mitigate.
Right, I
But we
said, so
can't
based
reopen.
on new evidence,
Yes.
we may choose to mitigate, we may
That's
choose
correct.
not to. I have no idea.
That's correct.
That's why we deferred it.
If we could make one more.
Tonight, no, we've deferred it. It's now
Man.
officially off the agenda, come back when it comes
It's
back.
deferred, okay.
Deferred. Okay, we already voted on it, it's deferred.
Calling next case. This is also in code check. This is page 214. The address is 6309 Northeast First Place, Unit 2. Case number, page 214, code check, mitigation. Case number is 000-17193.
Good evening. Please state your name and address.
Gabriela Ortega, 658 Northeast 87th Street, Miami, Florida, 33138.
Case is at 183 days.
183 days. This is a T5.
Yes, sir.
And it's 91,500. Is there anything you'd like to say, ma'am?
I don't even know what to say. I mean, I tried to give this tenant a chance because he needed a warrant permit and he had spent some money on a survey and things like that. So I gave him a month, and then he told me he was gonna leave. He was looking for a place, and then
We're going to set up.
he lived out his last, I would say, like his last month in his security deposit, even though I didn't want him to. You know, this property has been in my family for 23 years. So the expenses are getting higher and higher. You know, I'm trying, I have a brother, my father passed, and I've been trying to get him to sell this for a couple of years because, the taxes go up $7,000 every year. The insurance was $17,000 last year. I'm just a normal person, it's like a beast that I can't control. So I'm trying to collect rent, give this guy a chance. I'm like, okay, if he gets in there, then, he'll, whatever. So then when I was trying to get rid of him, he was like, oh, I found a place. I'll leave in 2 weeks. Oh, I can't leave. And so it was like that. Then when I was like, okay, after like 3 months, I was like, I'm going to go and evict him, And then it's like, oh, well, you need a lawyer to evict. So it's just been a problem. So then every time I would go to the city and ask a question about violations, it's like, code compliance doesn't know, code compliance says one thing, zoning says another thing, certificate of use another thing, the building department another thing. So instead of all this information coming at me at once, it's, I don't know. So then, anyways, the whole point is this is like the least of my worries now, because now the building department, I found out that there's a violation on the building, and they told me that this address doesn't even exist after 23 years. That my family business was there for 19 years, and the guy basically said that I bought the FPL meter and I bought the address, and that's about it. He was like, oh, well, you could just pay for somebody to do that.
Okay.
And, you know, and I have here that it had a certificate of use. I said, why'd they give a certificate of use all these years, you know, before the building violation came in, if the address doesn't exist? Well, I don't know. That's the zoning department.
Okay, I hate to
that's
interrupt
the
you.
problem. And I haven't rented that, and I haven't rented the
I get it. We have here a total percentage of 70% for 183 days, which is 70 out of 91,500 is $64,050. What does the...
I have no say. That's
I
what
know.
the matrix reflects, and
this is
you don't
what
have
it
an option.
says.
And the building's empty because of that violation that happened in 2021 that I found out about it on February 14th.
But do you recommend the matrix? I mean, we don't have to do the matrix.
You do not have an option.
The address
But I
doesn't
thought you
exist.
could do nothing, or you could
We
do the
can't,
matrix.
because this is a corporation.
The most that
business.
you, right, the most.
No, but it's the most we can do. It doesn't mean you have to do it.
No, you
Yes,
can
you do.
require her to pay the
It's an
full
ordinance.
amount.
I didn't write that ordinance, and
It's an
I
ordinance.
encourage you all to read it.
Section 2-872.
2817
Correct.
4D.
Our hands are tied.
Our hands are tied, we can't.
You-
If it would have been a commercial, a
A
residential property, or we
or
could.
duplex, or
Right.
single family,
No,
or
our hands are
vacant.
tied, meaning you can't do more than the matrix says, but you don't have to do exactly.
She probably
No,
could.
you don't have to do it exactly.
Right.
You,
But they told me that address doesn't exist. How
You
did
could
I-
probably,
Hold on a
no, but
minute.
that has nothing to do
Ma'am,
with
I'm
it.
trying to answer a question
Let's
from a board member.
clarify that, because I don't think, I mean, I'll
So-
find it, but that can't be.
The city commission adopted a matrix for 0 to 35 days. The most that you can mitigate is 10%.
But that's your key word. It's the most. If we choose to do less, we can do less.
Right.
No, we can't.
Yes, you can.
Well, not according to the city attorney.
No,
We're
they-
saying the same thing, but different ways. You can't reduce the amount.
Right. So let's say,
In other words, if the matrix falls at 30% is the most you can do.
Correct.
You can't do 31%.
No.
I understand. You could choose to do 20%.
No.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, because she falls in depending on the
No,
amount of days.
No, that's
She's
not.
saying yes.
I want to understand.
She's saying
You
yes.
need to clarify
Ask
that
the city
with.
attorney. I'm
I'm
telling you,
trying.
I'm reading it. I'm
trying.
telling you what it says. I agree with
It's-
the city attorney.
okay, so if you have $10 and the matrix calls for up to 35%, right? You can do 0. We're not going to give you any mitigation all the way up to the 35%. You can't give them 40% relief. You can't give them 50% relief. You can do anything from 0 to 35.
From 0 to the maximum on the chart. Yes. You have leeway from 0. I'm not recommending anything. I'm just explaining it. You have leeway from 0 to the amount that the matrix says. The matrix is a cap. If it was just what the matrix was, there'd be nothing to have in front of us. It would be done administratively. So you have the right to do nothing.
Right.
You have the right to do $2 up to, you have the right, what is this one, 70? Percentages.
70%.
So you have the right to go anywhere from 0 to, I guess if this one's 70, that
Judge,
means
we,
30%.
the answer is yes, but we cannot do that administratively. Not an option. Must come before you.
That's what I
Or
want.
full commission.
I understand, but we have that option. We're just not allowed to exceed. We're not allowed
More-
to do more than it says.
Understood.
We can do less.
You could.
That's all I'm suggesting. We
Right.
have leeway to do
We
less.
agree.
Well, that's not what I was told.
No, you
So-
can
It may not be what you were told,
Madam
but I'm
Chair,
reading it and I'm
Madam
telling you what the
Chair,
ordinance says.
you can say no mitigation.
Higher fine. When I'm saying less,
Even
I
if-
mean a higher fine, so it's clear.
what
A lesser percentage of mitigation. So we don't have to mitigate. We don't have to go to the maximum we're allowed. We just can't go above the maximum.
Well, I think that the board attorney needs to clarify this, obviously, for the board. I know
The
that,
city
I
attorney
understand
tells
that, but
you, and you have meetings,
I
but-
understand,
but
I know
get
what
more
you're saying.
clarification if you
But
want.
every time we vote on this, we're told different things.
No, we've never been told different.
Well, you weren't here before. You got here a few months ago. So
I
I am
but I
telling
voted on
you,
this
I've been here 2 years, and every time we rule, we are told that this is the ordinance, and we have to follow, and that there's no discount.
We do have to follow the ordinance. We do have to follow the ordinance. And when it says no discount, that means that you can't discount off what the ordinance is telling you is the maximum.
Well, I'm not,
you can
I don't
do.
feel comfortable
You
in
can do
ruling
less.
unless this is clarified, because every time we have someone else, we judge and we rule, and we're not helping the people. So it's not fair to rule now on her case when now we're being told something different. So either we defer this, or we rule,
It needs to get,
or
like, this has been a nightmare for me.
We can decide however you want. I mean, what does the board want to do? Maybe you want to give the maximum anyway. I don't know.
All right, okay,
just trying to
so,
clarify.
number of days, 1 through 30 days, right? If you see that the percentage on the chart below refers to the percentage of the lien to be paid, 100% as reflected in the charge means no mitigation.
Right.
Okay? As you go up.
So she's 183 days. So let's
Let me
talk about
just-
her case.
70.
Okay, so I'm going to move just
183.
because it's going to be different, and we're going to see you can do it. Then 1 second, I'm going to move for a 25% reduction, which is 5% less than what we're allowed to do as a maximum. So we're allowed to do anything under 30%. So I'm moving for 25%.
No, okay.
So
No, yeah.
I don't feel comfortable in ruling.
I would like
because
Actually, you can go up to
I'm being-
70%. You can go up to 70.
This is
so I'm gonna
not
move for
being
65.
clarified by the city, and I'm not,
Mr.
I'm not
Zilber,
going to.
can we hear from the board attorney as how she interprets this, just so we're clear?
So as I just heard it, you can go below. So I thought the assistant city attorney confirmed that you can go below but not above.
Correct.
So if that is the case, then if you so choose, then just select a percentage that is below.
Right, so for this particular property, okay, the most mitigation you can give her is
Chair.
30% reduction.
Madam Chair, this assistant city attorney was clarifying. The most you can do is
30%.
Okay.
You might do only 25%.
That's why I
or
made a
20.
motion for 25%.
So you can go below, you cannot go over.
Correct.
The total fine is 70, so it means a
Okay,
reduction
so-
of 30.
so
So I've
now-
moved for 25%. Maybe nobody wants to second it. I don't know.
Yeah, but how much, I need to calculate how much is that going to be. So she has
Reduce it
91,500.
25%.
Oops, hold on.
Wait,
How
we have
much
no
percent-
seconds.
you said what?
Pick something else.
I just want to.
No, I said we can go to 30. I
He
said
suggests,
25.
he
Times 25?
recommended
It's
25%.
22,875.
She has to pay 70%.
I moved that they have to pay 75.
Okay.
Okay, which is a 25% reduction. This is
25% reduction is
Exactly.
22,875.
Okay, it's no, that's.
Do I have a motion?
You have a motion. I mean, you may not have a second. I made the motion.
I know you made the motion. Do I have a second motion? No? The motion.
Discussion. Madam Chair, with all due respect for the judge, what we're doing is just adding confusion. We don't need, for this woman's sake, for us to say 25%, which means we're not even giving her what the city ordinance has said, what the reprieve should be. We're going below that and saying we're going to make you pay a little bit more, and that's just not fair.
Well, but sometimes
I know
give zero, right?
I know.
Sometimes we don't give any mitigation.
With all due respect.
So you're saying you think we should only do what
No,
this says all the time?
what I'm saying is that with all due respect, if we have a situation where we know it's a homestead, mitigation says we can do whatever, we can go down to zero. In this case here, our hands are tied based on what this.
But it's only tied on the high end.
Hold on, Judge. I just wanted to try to articulate this for a second. It's tied based on what the chart says. And what I'm saying is that in all fairness to whoever stands before the board, For us to go below what the recommendation is, based on what based on what the ordinance says, it's just not fair.
I agree.
And that's the thing, because if the
I don't think it's fair for her to pay $20-something thousand dollars.
Right, so if the code says we can do 30%, do the 30%. To do 25 is punitive.
So
To do
here's-
below that is punitive.
So here's
We
my
should not be
response.
doing that.
So-
That's
so-
just my, hold on, Judge. That's just my stance on it, because it's added so much conversation that it just creates confusion, and it's just not fair for someone to stand before us and we do less than what the thing is. In this case, less than means more money that
So
should be paid.
I was going to ask, is the intent to reduce the amount
No.
or
More,
adjust the
yes.
percentage? Because I think
she's looking
based
to-
on what you're saying, it's confusing.
I would
Correct.
reduce. We would like to make it less
I would
money
reduce the
that
amount.
she has to pay.
Let me just respond to the comment. So if you think that this person deserves the maximum that we're allowed, which is the 30, that's fine in this case. I was just trying to illustrate a point that we
Agreed.
shouldn't automatically just do what's here. In other words, like someone came up before, they could have gotten 0. We were going to give them the full 12,000. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. We have discretion is all I was trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, and if you don't think that we should, give less, I understand, and I'm fine with that. What I'm trying to just explain for the board, is don't look at this and say it's either 0 or it's the 70, or if it happens to be the 80 or the 25, wherever it happens to fall. We have discretion. If you're saying you think we should give the maximum we're allowed to give, and that's what the board chooses to do, then make that motion second. I'm just saying we're allowed, we have discretion. We've
Agreed.
misunderstood is what I'm trying to say. The board has misunderstood our right.
I agree.
We have the right to do anything up to that amount.
Correct.
What you're saying is don't punish you.
it's still a
because
lot of
you
money.
don't do the maximum.
That's exactly what and I agree.
Under
Thank
the
you,
In
sir.
this particular case, that may be the case.
Don't
But
punish.
not always. It's not
Correct.
always the
Correct. And that's what I was saying. For this conversation, for the folks who are watching this at home, or the folks who are here, we don't have to punish more than if the guidelines say just do this. And and to your point, we can go less. We can always go less. But why would we do that in this case here when it says, when the city has said, based on the orders that's passed, this is the
Well, I'll
the
answer
mitigation
why.
you can give.
I'll answer
I have
why.
another
Because if it's a homestead, you could go to 0, right?
You can go to 0.
And you
because
don't
of the
always go to
homestead.
0.
But you don't
right?
have that option.
But
on
you
a
don't
commercial.
always go to 0, right?
Correct.
So
I
there's
agree.
plenty of times we as a board don't give the maximum we're allowed.
Now, question.
Plenty of times. So I'm just suggesting again, just because I'm not this one case. I don't want
Gotcha.
to talk about this one case from it. So I'm just suggesting, I really have to go, but I'm just suggesting that when these come up, it should be the same thing like a homestead or anything else where we use our discretion.
I agree.
The only difference is here is we're capped on
percentage.
the most we're allowed to give as a discount. But it doesn't mean we have to go to that, just like we don't always have to go to 0 on a homestead. We may choose not to always go to the maximum here. Now, if you're saying you want to go to the maximum here because of the specific situation, that's a single issue. I'm just explaining that you have to look at these differently than we have in the past. It's not an all or nothing. You have the leeway based on the chart to give less of a discount, less of a mitigation. Just like on a homestead,
agreed.
you don't have to go to 0.
Board attorney, I have a question for you. If we decide not to follow the ordinance or follow this chart as a board, are we able to do so?
No, you're following the chart.
No, but how about if we don't want to follow the chart? Let's say if I don't want to apply the 30%.
Oh, you mean you want to give more?
No, I want to give her more of a discount.
Right, you want to give more.
Right,
You want to go-
exactly. So if I don't
that
want
I don't
to,
think you can do, but we can
well,
ask.
I'm.
So if you have to follow the ordinance.
It's an ordinance, right. The reason this exists is because of fraud. I mean, let's just get real with it, okay? Because people go through and they pay off people for fraud. Just so you know, we would probably all, in your case, we would probably all, agree to chop your fine, but we can't. We have to follow this, okay?
That's why I didn't even
But
want
I
to
think
talk.
everybody here, the problem is everybody wants to do the right thing and help your family. But the problem is the people in the past, they've been paid off by fraud, and we're dealing with that through city charter, which actually is a good city charter for the most part. However,
So I'm going to move for the maximum we're allowed to do, which is
30%. Which is $27,450.
And that's
That's the
second.
most we can do.
No,
That's the
but
Can I
lowest.
ask you a question?
Sure.
I heard you tell somebody else that they had to pay that within 21 days or it goes back
Yes,
to...
this is
Does
the
that
other
count
part.
to me too?
Yes.
Yes.
Bueno, I mean, I can't even pay that in 21 days.
That's
So.
what
Okay,
Now, after
Madam,
that, does it go as
Madam
a
Chair.
lien? Does it go as a lien?
It goes up to the 91,500.
But it's a lien. It's not like, here, pay this.
It's a lien.
Bueno, I mean...
So she has to
The
pay
worst has happened.
70%. The most positive
Wait. I think she's unclear about this. Okay? Just make sure she understands.
Yeah. I'm fighting for a discount and I can't even pay it anyway, so that's what I'm asking.
Not even going to be able to do it, but we still got to take action. So we made a motion.
Yes, you do.
Second,
So
vote.
do what you guys have to do. I already
No,
went
that's
through
not true,
the
ma'am.
worst thing possible with the building department. This is not the worst thing that could happen to me.
Okay, so the
And
city-
building department thing is way worse. I have to get an architect and all this crazy stuff that it's,
Guys, can we vote?
it's been empty for
Because
we
you're
vote?
required, that
Yeah,
you're
we have to
required
vote.
do
We don't have a
Yeah,
choice.
so
I know.
what-
I have a
it is-
question.
it is
Okay.
what
All
it
right,
is.
Madam
It is what
Mayor.
it
You don't
is.
need me for the vote.
Do I have
Guys,
a
good
motion?
night.
Let me just,
May I make a suggestion that we defer this, because that way she gets a chance to talk to her commissioner to see if they can, no, you don't want to
Nobody wants to
defer?
help me.
That's
I've been
Okay.
going for 6 months to the building department.
Okay,
This
we're gonna make a
zoning,
motion.
Somebody's going to help
Okay.
you.
all right.
Nobody's
let me-
gonna help me. You know
Yes,
what?
they
Helps
are.
me money that I don't have.
Ma'am, stop, okay? What she can do is withdraw her request for mitigation at this time, and there are avenues open to her which we cannot discuss on the record,
Okay.
but
And we
we
can't
can
take a vote
discuss it
anyway.
with the director
Look,
after.
we can't even take a vote anyway.
Okay.
We can, we still have quorum.
No, he left.
The question
We
is, do
still
you
have
want to
quorum.
withdraw your
quorum.
request for
I thought we had
mitigation right now?
No, 4.
You have
I
quorum.
cannot even pay those 70,000.
I heard you.
No,
I
I
heard
get it.
yes.
Listen to what she's saying.
Yeah.
I mean, hello.
Okay. Withdraw
Defer.
your
Withdraw.
mitigation. Withdraw your
Withdraw.
mitigation.
Withdraw your mitigation.
Say it on your, no, say it on the microphone that you're withdrawing your mitigation.
Yeah, and then they...
Yeah, no, you need to say it.
Oh, withdraw the mitigation. I'm
Okay.
sorry,
Okay,
guys.
at the present time,
So I'm,
Robert,
How much is it? Just to
wait,
know?
no, nothing.
90 what?
No.
ma'am, come see.
Come and speak to the director.
All right, next.
Thank
Next
you.
case. Oh, my God.
Next case.
Page 210, this is code check. Address 4750 Northwest 17th Avenue. Case number 000-18644. Address 4750 Northwest 17th Avenue, page 210.
210.
Yes, 210.
Good evening. Can you please state your name and address, sir?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Board. Good afternoon, Madam Attorney. Good afternoon, Mr. Director Robert. Very nice to see you again. My name is Santiago Aguilan. I'm here for 4750 Northwest 17th Avenue.
This case is at 266 days.
What page is this?
Page 210.
210.
Code check.
So that means
90.
90.
Ni sé.
But we have up to 25, right?
No, ni sé. I don't know.
You would have.
He's at 266 days.
What do you mean? We have 90. Can we just go up all the way? Or we have to be at 90? Because the other one was different.
210.
This is a CUBTR, and it's 133,000. And the number of days, Melanie, what did you say they were?
266 days.
They said,
Yes, we are, but okay, they're explaining. Okay, so it's 133,000 times 10%.
Okay, so
so it's a
he has to
10%
pay
reduction.
90%.
Yep, 10% reduction.
It's only a 10% reduction that's available to the board.
The members of the board deliberating the previous case.
Hello?
But if you follow the matrix, you can only reduce
Up to 10%
10%.
reduction.
That is,
That's all we can do.
that's what the ordinance reflects.
That would leave 10% of 133,000 is 119,700. That's $13,300 reduction.
That's all we can do.
What was the amount? I'm sorry.
Can I please say something?
19,700.
So if
Can I
you were,
please say something?
Sure, yeah. Well, I'm just saying the amount, so.
let me suggest something to you. One option to you for your consideration, I'll talk to you sidebar, is for, and I'm not encouraging you, but to come before a full commission.
Correct.
And a full commission. So
Withdraw your
maybe
mitigation.
you withdraw your mitigation,
Right.
and you come before full commission. I assure you, the full
Reduce
commission,
more.
the mitigation is greater.
Yeah.
They don't have the ability to do what the
Correct.
commission will do.
We don't.
And I'm sticking my neck out. I'm trying to help you out.
I know you're, I know you're aware because we have talked about this on another case on the same property. That's why I have the best regards on your team. Miss Betsy Del has helped me a lot. Mr. Inspector is more than amazing, but at the end of the day, I understand there's a matrix, but at the end of the day, I have suffered a lot with the previous tenant. I was in a lawsuit. It took a lot of time. Once we got the writ of possession.
And money.
And a lot of money. It passed because of the lawsuit took a lot of time. The 271 days were over. Later on, we couldn't get the property, so it went by. That's how I got to meet Mr. Robert, who then again, his team is more than amazing. It's just that it's very complicated as a landlord when the tenant is not liable.
Understood.
Because then again, I truly understand, I am a tenant myself in my house, and you turn it into a home, and I understand all the privileges and taking care of people. But it is astonishing how, if somebody has an LLC and they're doing business, how is it that they're not liable? Because if a tenant receives the certification from Mr. Inspector,
But sir, the
ma'am, I have
notices
served-
all went to you. Your company, your registered agent, all the notice of violation. So at any time,
Yes.
you could have told the tenant, get out.
I have served the tenant several times.
I recommend something. I recommend that you listen to the director. I recommend, as a chair and
always
as the
listen to
board
him.
members, we recommend that you withdraw your mitigation, and I recommend that you consider what you've just been told.
Of course,
Because
Okay,
they
so
have
do
the
it.
power.
I'll always listen to Mr. Robert. He's
We
more than
can.
amazing.
So
but
if you say now in the microphone that you withdraw your mitigation, we're done, and you can go to him and he can direct you. We're trying to help you.
I understand.
So we
It's-
don't want for you to pay $119,700, even if you had the money.
Withdraw your motion, please.
Listen, times are hard for everybody, and we're here to help the people. We understand, but if they tie us, we can't help you.
I'm not saying anything against the board. All I'm saying is please take into consideration because after me there's going to be more cases.
But like I said, withdraw
We
your
can't.
mitigation.
They can't.
We can't consider.
Come and see me.
You're asking us to do something that we
I'm not
can't.
asking.
All right, sir, have you withdrawn your request or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Melanie, call the next case.
Calling page. Thank you. Go and see Roberto. Next case, please. Thank you.
City View Agenda, page 1. This is address 3215 Southwest 24th Terrace, case number CE 2017-021-319, address 3215 Southwest 24th Terrace, page 1. City View Agenda, mitigation.
Aye.
This mitigation is at 1,850 days old.
150?
1,850 days old.
Well, but this is a single family. Awesome. We can help her.
Yes, this was work performed without a finalized
home.
permit and illegal units.
Good evening.
The total fine right now.
Her name and address, please.
Her name is Julia Valdez. Her address is 3215 Southwest 24th Terrace.
Thank you.
And she's requesting that her daughter speak on her behalf.
Sure. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good evening.
Please state your name.
My name is Astrid Valdez. I'm her daughter.
You live at?
I live at 3215 Southwest 24th Terrace, but open clarity, right now I am in a semester in college, but that's temp. I live with my mother.
Right, but when you're off, you come back
Yes.
to your home.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Which is what I did today to come help.
Right.
Okay. I know she took a long time to do her case, and I know this is like probably not a good excuse, but it's like the total honesty. She never had a guidance, and I know it's not a child's responsibility to help their parents, but there's a lot of cultural differences, and then like our culture, I help her a lot, but I mean, I didn't know I needed a copy for all of you, if I'm honest, but we did start, and I have the evidence, like in 2021, to fix this issue. The issue is that there was a bit of confusion in our sense, because we've never had a problem like this. When she bought the property, that was already attached to it, and she, you know, when she got the co-violation, she was like, what? It was honestly confusion. And we lost communication with the inspector, which I've heard through all the cases today is the key to keep in contact with the inspector, which I will say we did not do. We thought it was, like, we thought unsafe structure, like, it was communicated with all the City of Miami department, but throughout these years of working with this process, I see that every floor has its purpose and every area has its purpose.
Right.
And we thought that working with Raul Ramos of unsafe structure and everything and throughout the whole process that it would be communicated, like, throughout. I didn't even know that there was differences.
Yeah, it's quite complicated, and we don't expect anyone to understand
it was
it.
a partial demo, and I've been hearing all these big projects, and I'm going to say it bluntly. I'm a first gen. We do not have the amounts I've been hearing here that have ended. I am honest. I even told her sitting down, I don't even know what we can sell to even pay $10K. I'm being upfront about it, but we have closed it. We are in compliance. We don't want to be in problems in the City of Miami ever again, and we understand our house is within the zone. So obviously we have to comply with the City of Miami, which we understand. But this is a case that she did not, it's just the honest truth. She did not have any understanding. But once I showed her, like, no, I'm like, I started reading the letters. I'm like, no. I'm like, this is serious.
Yeah, I know.
She got on
understood.
it, and you could even, like, ask Raul Ramos if you want from unsafe structure in the City of Miami. She did not stop calling him. He even told her, Señora, in English, he was like, ma'am, I'm busy, please. She's like, I'm sorry. She's like, but I need to end this now.
Yeah.
Our mistake was not communicating with Inspector Vipino. I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry, yes. That was our mistake. But honestly, we have ended the case. There's no, the partial, and we even sent proof and everything. There's nothing there.
Understood.
Inspector Pino.
Inspector Pino.
Let's hear from you.
Pino, Co-Compliance Southeast Office. She did, I mean, at the time, her mom, I think, didn't have the funds and didn't have someone to help her. I think when I cited them, it was, I think,
2018.
She was still in high school, so she couldn't guide her the way that she's been guiding her, but it seems like ever since she got involved, she got everything done. She called me right away. She went to the building.
They complied in January 2024.
Right, because she got involved and helped her mom. So
It's homesteaded?
It's homesteaded.
So
And
kudos to the young lady.
Yes.
Good job, really well, commendable. So here's one that I don't have a problem with you guys doing your thing.
Motion for zero.
Code recommends $5.
Motion for zero.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Zero.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I've been
It's
so
okay.
nervous.
Great
Thank you
job.
for your
It's
order.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much
We're back
for
in
helping your
code check.
mom.
Don't leave. Page 19, wait for your order. Wait for your order. Page 197, we're back in code check. The address is 4800 Northwest 10th Avenue, case number 000-50798. Again, page 197 in code check, address 4800 Northwest 10th Avenue.
Good evening. Please state your name and address.
My name is David Felgager. I'm the owner of the property.
This one is at 24 days.
24 days? And it was page 197?
197?
197.
Thank
Give
you.
me 1 second. Let me look at
How many days? 24?
24 days. And 127. 197, I'm sorry. You have $24,000 as a fee. 24 days is 25.
So they can get a 75%.
Is it a homestead?
No, this is not. Yeah, this is a homestead. This is, well, not a homestead.
Is it homestead? Because I'm
It's
looking
it's a residential property.
Patrimony.
It's a T3. It's not homestead.
Single family.
197.
It's a T3.
So
It's owned by an LLC.
And
but
why?
It's a T3.
It's residential.
The per diem went to 1,000? Is this
I don't know why.
Was it a repeat?
What is it, Airbnb?
No.
No?
It's a LLC,
Work
right?
performed without a finalized permit. They complied on December 7, 2023. It took them 7 months to actually comply. from the day of the violation. I think we need to consider this as extremely high fine, even though it's an LLC.
Yeah.
What does the city recommend?
So,
Even though it's residential?
Huge reduction from 24 to 1,000.
1,000.
Do I have a motion for $1,000?
Motion for 1,000.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Wait, question. Sir, can you pay that within 20 days?
Can you pay $1,000 in 21 days?
Yes, sir, yes.
Are you okay with that fine?
Yes.
20 days, not 21. 20.
20 days.
20
I thought it was
days.
21.
On the
Sorry.
21st day.
On the
reverts
21st
back.
day.
Okay, I have a first, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
$1,000. Wait for your order. Thank you. Next case, please.
Calling page 207, address 515 Northeast 15th Street, case number 000-40759, page 207, address 515 Northeast 15th Street.
Hi, please state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Chris Pinellas. I'm an associate attorney at 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐲 LLP. Law office is located at 98 Southeast 7th Street. I'm here today on behalf of the Diocese of South Florida. I'm joined by Reverend Jason Robertson, who's the cathedral's provost. I do have with me evidence of the diocese 501c3 status that I would like to present and put into the record.
Yes, sir.
We know that.
Put that on the record.
Yep.
Sir. I don't know. Do I put in the record that I saw you when you were a toddler?
It's there. You
Put
can
that.
go to the, what do you call it?
Wow. You look
Finance.
like your dad. You do look like your dad.
Yes. You too. Good luck.
Religious organizations are exempt
Correct. So
from
code
any
has a
violation?
recommendation.
Well,
Any legal organization is, religious organization is
That-
exempt
That's correct.
from the violation. So do I have a motion?
Motion was 0.
Okay, but I
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in
Hold on,
favor?
wait, discussion.
may I have the page number?
The page
207.
number is
Page
207.
207.
I have a first, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Blessings to you all. Thank you very
Right.
much.
Very well.
Thank you. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Next case. I think we only have one more case.
I don't have any more cases.
No?
It's here.
I don't have 207.
This lady's not waiting for...
She said no.
No.
She says no?
Well, I saw her filming later, a little while ago. She was filming me.
So, Madam Chair,
Meeting's adjourned. Now we
a bunch
have...
of abstentions. How do you
Can we plow through a few?
Yeah, let's go through them
Okay,
real
let's go.
quick. How many do we have?
Guys, everybody to the front.
How many do we have?
We have quite a few. Okay.
About 10. About a
Page
dozen.
8, 711 Biscayne Boulevard.
Go. You don't have to run over each other.
Page 8.
Okay, please state your name and official position.
Eugenio Lazarica, City of Miami Code Compliance, Southwest Office.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 7111 Biscayne Boulevard?
The citation was issued originally by a former Inspector Ramirez. I came in and took over the case halfway through, so I cited the summons.
And you provided me with your file.
Correct.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs of the violation in your note, correct?
Correct.
And Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Correct.
Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Okay, and did you cite the property for no CU, no BTR?
Correct.
Okay, did you have any contact?
No.
Okay, we're requesting guilty, 5 days, $500 a day thereafter.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one is page 10.
Page 10.
Inspector, state your name and official position.
All right, hold on. What's your address?
Page 10.
Okay,
The
well.
address is 1596 Southwest 14th Street.
Okay.
Inspector Mevin, Southeast.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 1596 Southwest 14th Street?
Yes.
Okay, did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs and your personal notes on the case, correct?
Yes.
And Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Correct.
Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Correct.
I would like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submitted.
Okay, and you cited them for failure to register a vacant structure and vacant, blighted, unsecured, and/or abandoned structure, correct?
Correct.
We're asking for guilty, 5 days to come into compliance. Is this this is a person?
Correct.
$150 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Make a motion for 5 days, $150 a day thereafter.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay, the next one that we have is page 12. Inspector Nolarse. Please state your name and official position.
Inspector Nodarsi, Southwest Office, Code Compliance.
Okay, did you issue a citation to the property at 329 Southwest 11th Avenue?
Yes.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file?
Yes.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs of the chickens and hens?
Yes.
And your notes, correct?
Yes.
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law?
Correct.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the
Submitted.
record. Thank you. And you cited them for illegally keeping and harboring and maintaining poultry, fowl, or grazing animal in a residential zone, correct?
Correct.
And the failure to maintain a lot in a safe, clean condition.
Correct.
And they also failed to register a vacant lot, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we're asking for guilty, 5 days, $500 a day thereafter.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, what was the motion?
Guilty,
Guilty,
5
5
days,
days.
500. Okay, the next one that we have, oh, wait, was there a motion and everybody agreed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
There was a first, there was a second, we voted already.
Thank you so much. Okay, the next one is page 15. The address is 860 Southwest 5th Street. Inspector Nolarse, state your name and official position.
Inspector Nodarsi, Southwest Office, Code Compliance.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 860 Southwest 5th Street?
Yes.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file on this case?
Yes.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs of the food truck as well as your notes regarding the violations,
Yes.
correct? Okay, Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Correct.
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Correct.
Would like to introduce A, B, and C into the record?
Submitted.
Thank you. And what they have is they did not comply with the requirements for food trucks, and the use is not allowed in the transit
Correct.
zone, correct?
Correct.
We're requesting a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, and $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the
Thank you.
next one that we have is, I apologize. Is page 25 a reset, Jacob? 3520?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so, Inspector Tyler is, page 17, a reset due to new ownership? Okay. Okay, the next one that we have is page 34, and the address is 980 Northwest 54th Street, and that is Inspector 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐲. Inspector, state your name and official position.
Inspector 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐲, City of Miami, Code Compliance, North Office.
Okay, did you issue a citation to the property at 980 Northwest 54th Street?
Yes.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs and your notes on the violations, correct?
Yes.
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and Exhibit C are the summonses and notices required by Florida law?
Yes.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submitted.
Thank you. And you cited them for encroaching into the required yards and open space, maintaining a structure encroaching into the required setbacks and work performed without a permit for a fence, a portion of parking, and drainage, all encroaching into another property, correct?
Yes.
Okay, we'd like to request a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next one that we have is page 57, Inspector 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐲. Please state your name and official position.
𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐲, Code Compliance North.
Okay, did you issue a citation to the property at 173 Northeast 69th Street?
Yes,
Okay, and did you provide me with your file on this case?
yes.
Okay, and what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs of the violations as well as your notes, correct?
Correct.
And Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Correct.
Exhibit C are the records that you are required to maintain for notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Yes.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Okay, and you cited them for failure to have a valid certificate of use and failure to have a BTR, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we'd like to request a guilty, 5 days, $500 a day thereafter.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next one that we have is page 67. Okay, and that is the same inspector. Please state your name and official position.
𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐲, Code Compliance North.
Okay, and did you issue a citation to the property at 6010 Northeast 2nd Avenue?
Yes.
Okay, and what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs of the violations and your notes, correct?
Correct.
Exhibit B are the records from the property appraiser, correct?
Correct.
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law.
Correct.
Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Okay, and I wanted to ask you, this was for work performed without a permit and failure to maintain the exterior of the residential.
Failure to maintain is comply.
Okay, so what is the work performed without a permit? It looks like a hut.
And it's the kitchen they converted to take out, and then there's a concrete slab, and there's gazebo, and then shed and everything was
Okay,
without
so
permit.
we're requesting a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next one that I have is page 73. The address is 1471 Southwest 1st Street. And this is Inspector Jean-Francois. Please state your name and official position.
Code Compliance Inspector Francois, after hours.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 1471 Southwest 1st Street?
Yes,
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this case?
correct.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs and your notes, the photographs that you obtained on the violations and your personal notes, correct?
Yes,
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
correct.
And Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and we'd like to introduce A, B, and C.
Submit it.
Okay, thank you. And that this is a violation for failure to maintain the lot and failure to register a vacant lot and graffiti on the property, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we'd like to request guilty, 5 days to come into compliance, $250 a day thereafter until compliance.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
next one that I have is page 86, and the address is 553 Southwest 37th Avenue. Inspector Martinez, please state your name and official position.
Roberto Martinez, Code Compliance Southwest Office.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 553 Southwest 37th Avenue?
Yes.
Okay, and did you provide me with your files, with your file regarding this property?
Yes.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs of the violations and your notes, correct?
Correct.
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser?
Correct.
And Exhibit C are the official notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Correct.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Okay, and you cited them for failure to maintain the lot in a safe, clean condition and not allowing an accumulation of debris, trash, or dense growth of grass, as well as a failure to register a vacant lot, correct?
Correct.
We'd like to request a guilty, 5 days to come into compliance, $500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Do I have a
So
motion?
moved.
Do I have a second?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, I said so moved, but yeah.
Okay, the next one that I have is page 88, and it's Inspector Martinez. Please state your name and official position.
Roberto Martinez, Code Compliance Southwest Office.
Okay, did you issue a citation to the property at 3237 Southwest 2nd Street?
Yes.
Okay, and did you provide me with your records in this case?
Yes.
Okay, and what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you took of the violations as well as your handwritten notes?
Yes.
And Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Correct.
And Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and I would like to introduce A, B, and C.
Submit it.
Thank you. And what you cited them for was outside storage, parking and storage of inoperable or untagged vehicles, illegal parking of commercial vehicles, and parking in unimproved surfaces, correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay, we'd like to request a guilty finding, 5 days to come into compliance, and $250 a day thereafter.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next one is page 92. The address is 351 Northwest 42nd Avenue. It's Inspector Torres.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please state your name and official position.
Inspector Torres, Code Compliance, BTR, Task Force.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 351 Northwest 42nd Avenue?
Correct.
Okay, and that's Suite 305, correct?
Correct.
And did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes, correct.
I have this marked as closed.
There's 303 and 305.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So 305.
correct.
Okay, and what we've marked as Exhibit A are your notes and your research as well as the photographs on the violations, correct?
Correct.
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser,
Correct.
and Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Correct.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submit it.
Okay, and at this time, you cited them for no CU, no BTR,
No BTR.
correct?
Correct.
Okay, we'd like to have a finding of guilty, 5 days, $500 a day thereafter until compliance.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
I know. I know. The next one that I have is page 106. The address is 1798 Northwest 21st Terrace, and it's Inspector Tyler. Please state your name and official position.
Inspector Tyler, after hours. Inspector?
Did you issue a citation to the property at 1798 Northwest 21st Terrace?
I did.
Okay, and did you provide me with your file in this, on this case?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and what we've marked as Exhibit A are the photographs that you obtained of the violations as well as your notes, correct?
Oh, that's right. Correct.
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Correct.
Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record. Mr. Vice Chair?
So,
One minute.
friendly amendment, instead of 5 days, can we do 10 because he's after hours, he has some issues, so, please,
What are we talking about? I haven't
What?
gotten to the number of days.
okay, when you get to it.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is failure to maintain and failure to register a vacant lot, correct?
Correct.
So we're requesting a guilty, 10 days to come into compliance.
Thank you.
And $500 a day thereafter.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I know you saw it, but I don't have it. Because we have to vote on it.
Okay, the next one that I have is page 109.
Inspector Tyler, after hours.
What are you looking for?
For the year,
Oh,
we
I
have
don't
to
have that.
vote on it. And I passed it
I don't
for
get it.
the board
Yeah, I don't
members
get
to
it.
read it, and I don't have it.
I'm sorry.
Inspector Tyler, after hours.
Okay, this is page 109, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Did you issue a citation to the property at 1790 Northwest 21st Terrace?
Yes,
Okay, and you provide me with your file in this case, correct?
I did.
Okay, and what's marked as Exhibit A are the photographs of the violations as well as your personal notes, correct?
Correct.
And Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Correct.
Exhibit C are the
Melanie.
notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Correct.
We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submitted.
Okay, and
The same.
Inspector, what you have is a citation for a failure to register a vacant lot with the city of Miami, correct?
Correct.
We're requesting guilty,
Oh,
you said 10 days,
You have the same owner, yes.
$500 a day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next one that I have is page 115.
Is this the last one?
No.
Couple more.
You're kidding me.
Okay, hello, page 115. The address is 7621 Northwest 2nd Court. Please state your name and official position.
Inspector 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐲, City of Miami, Code Compliance, North Office.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 7621 Northwest 2nd Court?
Yes.
Okay, and did you provide me with your records on this case?
Yes.
And what we have marked as Exhibit A are the photographs and your notes regarding the violations, correct?
Yes.
Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And exhibits, is that a yes?
Yes.
And Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so at this time, we are requesting 5 days, a guilty, 5 days to come into compliance, and this is a vacant lot. So 500, Robert, or 250?
250.
250? Yep. Okay, guilty, 5 days, 250.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next one is page 117. Inspector, state your name and official position.
Inspector 𝐂𝐢𝐭𝐲, City of Miami, Code Compliance, North Office.
Did you issue a citation to the property at 551 Northwest 71st Street?
Yes.
And did you provide me with your file in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And what we've marked as Exhibit A are the violations inclusive of the graffiti and the notes that you have on the file, correct?
Now, that's for failure to register the building. The graffiti case, the property was adjudicated on the previous case by another inspector. That's
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so this is just for...
Just for failure to register the building.
Okay, and Exhibit B are the records of the property appraiser, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and Exhibit C are the notices and summonses required by Florida law.
Yes.
Correct? Okay. We'd like to introduce A, B, and C into the record.
Submitted.
Thank you. And so you are only pursuing at this time the failure to register a vacant structure?
Yes.
Okay, because you also have listed graffiti.
Yeah, it's I have to comply because,
Okay.
as I said, it was previously heard.
Okay, close it or comply it, whatever. Okay, we're requesting guilty, 5 days to come into compliance, $500 a day thereafter.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Madam Chair, do you want me to keep going or do you want to go?
No, you have how many? 9 to go?
About,
A couple. I really need to go.
You need to go?
Yeah, I've got my in-laws sitting.
okay. Huh?
So that's it?
That's it.
Really
No,
quick?
we have many more.
How many?
How many?
How many do you have?
10.
Wait,
No,
wait.
no, no, I can't. I gotta go.
Can we do 3?
Wait, real quick. I need to.
You said it was 10 before.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did 10.
Before we go, that we have quorum, real quick, we need to vote on the report for the City of Miami Nuisance Abatement Board for the City of Miami Commission. This is for the annual report for 2023, which I passed to all of you to read. Do I have a motion?
I want to know, where's the report? That's the only thing I was wondering. It looks like a letter.
You need to ask Melanie.
Yeah, I can't vote on something I haven't seen.
Okay, that we don't have quorum and she will not vote on it?
Excuse me, this is composed by the board attorney, Jose Trellis. It's not composed by hearing boards. This is a report of what you all have done from 2023.
Which is explained here in this document.
Yes.
So that's exactly.
It was
And
just
it's
like,
past due.
This
It
is a
was
report
due-
of what we
Just a
do.
moment. It was due back in January. However, we could not maintain quorum, several meetings. So now here it is, March going into April. So I guess we won't be able to get it done until April of next month.
Wait, hold on. No, that's not true. We have quorum. Let's make the motion. Motion.
Well, she just said
Second.
she had a motion.
That's fine. We still have quorum.
All in favor?
Aye.
it's just,
We have one.
I'm going to abstain just
That's fine.
because.
3-1, we pass it. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
She wasn't aware. You haven't been
And
present.
Liz, per our discussion, these two need to be on the April.
Okay?
Well,
Thank you.